Hello, everyone, and welcome to Spelunkers, a gaming exploration podcast. This time around, we are doing Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Today, I am joined by Tyler,
Hi.
Chris,
Hi.
and Ryan.
Why?
And also, this is Ryan's Nightmare. I had that queued up.
That's good. That's good. I like that.
We need more
It
of
wasn't
that.
as scary as I thought it was going to be. I thought it'd be scarier than
It's
that.
spooky season, y'all.
Nothing like Vincent Price coming in. So yeah, we're doing a little Resident Evil 7 here. We all know Ryan loves his horror games, so this is gonna be super good. We're gonna just let him talk the whole time in screams.
I'm practicing screaming in Morse code.
Yeah, if you watched any of when he had streamed it, you will know that he loves it, and it's fantastic.
Mhm.
So
I really wish you would have streamed the Marguerite fight.
yes,
Ah,
I agree.
I
think
didn't even
would've
do
been-
that in VR.
Yeah, that would have been.
Oh,
that
you
would
didn't
have
even
been
play.
one.
I thought you played the whole thing in VR.
No. I didn't do start to finish in VR.
I'm saddened
That's okay.
now.
I was on the verge of anxiety attacks, dude.
Yeah.
I suppose. I guess I didn't play it on. So, obviously, we know Ryan doesn't have much experience with horror games. Tyler, what's your experience? Not just horror games, but Resident Evil.
So I played 1 and 2 back in the day when they were first released. I beat the HD remake of 1. I played a little bit of 3. Played a little bit of 4. Beat 5. Played a little bit of 6. And now I beat 7. So I got some experience.
You
I've
played a
seen
lot.
some of the movies. I know what's going on.
Oh, I've definitely seen more of the movies than I've played of the games.
Oh, I
sad.
definitely have not. I've even
That's
played.
sad.
I don't know if you guys know this one. It's a deep cut, but it's called Resident Evil Survive. It was on PlayStation. It was an old PlayStation game. It was like a first-person shooter. It's really weird, but played that too.
I don't think I know of that one.
I like this series. It's a good series.
Chris, what about you?
I've never played any of the tank control ones. 1, 2, 3, even 1 remake. I haven't played, but I played 4, 5, 6, 7. Both of the Revelations are very good. 2 remake, 3 remake. That's pretty much it. I really like.
Ryan.
Sorry, I really like survival
Oh.
horror, but only if you have a gun or whatever. I don't like run and hide stuff.
Yeah, no run, hide, die games.
Like Outlast?
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah,
Ryan?
I've just realized that I like horror games. I'm gonna keep cutting you off. Sorry. I told you guys. I told you
What
guys
Ryan's
the other day
experiences?
that it was like just after beating this, and then I started playing Evil Within. It was like I don't know why I just clicked all of a sudden. It's like I really like this genre of game. I don't know why I'm coming to it so late. You know, it's weird. Ryan.
Spooky season.
Yeah, I'm not all about the horror games. I played my first one earlier this year with Dead Space. Streamed all of that. And, this is my second survival horror entry. And, I mean, it is a great game for a survival horror game, but this is not my genre.
Well, you played 5, at least in Resident Evil.
That's action-y, though.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
Resident
I wouldn't
Evil, at
consider that even a Resident Evil game. That game is so different compared to any of the other games.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I think I played 1 and 2, and I think at some point I rented a game from Blockbuster, and I think they had the second disc for Code Veronica in there in the game that I rented. So I may have kept that
Oh,
and played that, but I could only play as one of the people. So I think
you
could
only
play
have
as-
one.
Yeah, I think you need the other disc to play as the other person. I don't remember. And then I played 5, and then I played this one. But I mean, horror in general, I'm a big fan of. So. Oh, and I played what was the Umbrella one where you just had played as the agents?
the
It was
Umbrella
like-
Corps.
Yeah,
Yeah, I haven't checked that one out. That was like a wave-based kind of thing, right?
yeah. You could do wave base, or I think 4v4 versus zombies.
That'd be cool. I'd do that.
was all right. People did not like it at the time
No.
because they wanted Resident Evil, not crazy Umbrella stuff.
But at this point, it's like, what is Resident Evil? You know, if you go back to the first original trilogy, like 1 through 3, it's like the tank controls, and then 4, 5, and 6 are completely different. They really go hard on like the narrative and the action gameplay. And then now with 7, it's first person survival horror, and it's like they completely upend the series every so often.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's what 8's going to be too. It's going to be just like 7, right? I mean, from what we see, like
Yeah.
first person.
Yeah.
Poopy pants.
Yeah, 4 really upended the series in terms of gameplay, but also like lore. The lore is so hard to keep track of at this point because 4 basically threw away the lore of 1 through 3, but then they had to like work it back in with 5 and 6. It's all very complicated. None of us are going to pretend to be Resident Evil lore experts. If you're a Resident Evil lore expert, you'll probably be mad by the end of this. I want you to know.
I'm probably already mad.
Yeah, probably
I
already
can
mad.
hear the angry clacking of keys.
Yeah, because by the end of this one, I really had no idea how this tied into any of the larger Resident Evil universe. I was like, okay, sure.
But there's like a zombie-ish thing. It's not even zombie.
Nah,
weird
it's not,
black
though.
snot men that you attack. I don't really know.
There's a lot of
We'll get
small
into it.
references, and then
Yeah.
obviously at the very end, there's a very big reference.
Yeah.
There is. I guess I'll have to wait till the end. So, who played the demo? Because that's different.
Oh yeah,
than-
I did. I played. I think they put out 2 versions of it when it first came out. So it was like the first part was basically the guest house, up into the point where you drop the wall down or something like that. After you watch the videotape, you know, you go under the chimney and you pull the lever. I believe it stops after the videotape, and then in the second version, you go all the way up through the point where you would meet Mia for the first time, I believe.
Okay.
Isn't there more with the newscast people? The
I don't think so.
haunted? Because I thought, because you're bound in the chair as Clancy in the beginning, and Pete's trying to get you out.
Yeah, that's actually one of the demos does have that,
Because
and
there's
it's the
the
only
beginning
way.
hour
Okay.
and something else. I
It's the
think.
only way you find out what happens to Pete. Otherwise, he's just not in the story anymore after the one tape in the game.
Oh,
Yeah, he
weird.
gets super stabbed and his head gets cut off. It's great.
So we start this game off, and we got like what is it? It's a video of Mia basically popping up. By the way, I don't like Mia's character design. Like,
Why?
I don't know what's going on with the. She looked very creepy in a way that she wasn't supposed to be creepy.
Mm.
I had an
Like,
issue with her hair design. It
Yeah.
looked like it was like clumped together like clay. I was like, this don't look good. This looks bad. That's some bad hair.
When this isn't that old, is it? How?
2017.
2017. Okay, so 3 years, I guess. Because there's certain parts where, like, you look at your arm and it looks like your arm is melted plastic. Like,
Yep.
the weird glossy, like your Ken doll.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a note here. Like, I remember this game absolutely blowing me away with how amazing it looks. It like 3 years. We always say like, oh, game graphics don't come that far in short terms anymore, but it is noticeable that this game does not look like the top of the class games now, like it did before. Like everyone was saying, oh, the RE engine is perfect. You can do everything in the RE engine because everything looks perfect. But now it's showing its age a little bit.
Yeah. 3 years. I mean, that's wild that it's that muddy looking. Because that's like what I felt the entire time. Is everything looked like mud.
Everything's also
Well,
very
it
wet.
is.
It's
Yeah, very wet.
So wet.
That veneer's a little I mean, yeah, everything's very damp, but I never really got the plastic feeling arm in the VR, but I got that sense more when I would play on flat screen. So
Okay.
I think the slight fidelity decrease in the headset eliminates that the notice of the graphical step.
Yeah, and maybe that's
Could be.
just
I mean,
what
that
it
could
is.
be too, yeah.
Is concessions for making the entire game playable in VR that it looks good. Because I think RE2 Remake and like Devil May Cry 5, which were made in the same engine, both still look ridiculously amazing.
Yes, I wouldn't be surprised if it was something that they did a middle ground for the VR version as well.
Could be. I know my buddy was telling me that he wanted to play it on the PC, but the only way to play PC VR is doing a port of the PSVR,
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
which seems odd.
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah, I heard that PSVR is the only way to actually play RE7 in VR. There's no like PC port of it directly.
That seems dumb.
So yeah, we are talking, or Mia's talking to us, saying how much she loves us and that she will be coming home soon, and she can't wait to be done with her babysitting job and get back to her husband. Of course, this is her watching. Well, I guess at the time we don't know that that's. Well, we do know it's her because she talks to it. But like her hands are all moving frantically. She's all bloody, and she starts a new one saying, "Don't come find me. Leave me alone."
Mm-hmm.
And then we
I
get
found another man.
I'm sorry I lied to you.
I have found Daddy, and he does things to me that you can't.
Literally
Probably.
can't.
Literally.
It's not possible for you to doing. She also says that you were right and that she was lying to you. I don't know. I don't want to get into too far stuff ahead, but I don't think they ever like really talk about that. Oh, there's a baby panda. There's a baby panda in the door. But I don't think they go like too far into it, really. Like of the lies.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
She just says, "I'm sorry I lied to you."
yeah, it's kind of like implied that she lied about just doing a babysitting job when she was clearly involved in bioterrorism bullshit. But
She was kind of babysitting.
sure, kind of. But it is weird. Ethan, like, immediately after that, Ethan is talking on the phone to his friend saying he has to go to Louisiana because he got a message from Mia, but we never see any message. Like, apparently she
No.
sent him another message that's like, "Come get me, I'm in Dulvey, Louisiana," but we never see that message. It's weird that they take the time to show us two messages, but he's like, "Oh, she sent me a message saying to come get her in Dulvey, Louisiana."
Yeah, we saw that. It wasn't a video message, though. It was one of the things, just be like, as you're walking through the forest, getting into the guest house. Is that the first house?
Yeah.
Yep.
One of the emails or whatever you can read says, "Come find me in
Like in your inventory?
Dulvey."
Okay, I guess I did
Yeah.
see that email. I just never looked at it, so that's smart.
You think that they would put that as like something you actually? Because if I did see it, I don't remember that.
Yeah,
Like, do you have to actually? If you have to physically pop it up, then I probably never even
Yeah,
look.
I
Like,
think you have to
yeah,
go
it's in
into
your
your
inventory.
inventory. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I never looked at that
That makes
either. I
sense.
just assumed he was looking for her because it's his wife, and he's gonna try to fucking find his wife. You know?
although she was gone for 3 years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but she
he's-
wasn't supposed to be, right? So at a certain point, he gets.
Well, I think
this...
they thought she was dead.
Well, I think this is where the issue is, right? He gets that video message, and then he gets another one from her later on that she sent. It's like, what's the time span in between the one where she's like fine on the boat and the one where she's acting like a crazy one? You know?
Yeah, so I think the old one is the 3 years ago.
Yeah, and then the one where she's like, "Don't come find me." That was like a newer one that she sent when she was, you know,
Yeah,
Having dinner.
yeah.
she was having dinner. So yeah, what do you think of Ethan's car?
He needs new windows, man. Can't see out that shit.
Filthy.
And the ride in. I like the whole like panning,
Yeah,
like drone
very
view
cool.
as you're coming in. Just not so much the car, but like the landscape.
Yeah.
Really, the trees and the funness.
It does a good job of like setting up the location that you're in, and like the fact that if you have played previous Resident Evils, you're like, okay, this is a new biome that we haven't really seen before. A nice, good swampy area, you know.
Well, isn't 4 kind of swampy?
No,
5's got
And
some
then,
swampy
like,
stuff in it.
yeah, a little bit.
I've got like giant snakes and caves, and I don't know what the hell's going on in that one.
Yeah, but you know what I mean, like Louisiana
Yeah,
bayou
yeah.
swamp.
Right.
So
That's a different kind of swamp, you know.
in retrospect, they're really just trying to be like Infamous 2, right? I mean,
Yeah, there it is.
Exactly. True.
They're all related.
we're gonna tie them all together. That's how we choose our games. They're all
Yeah.
interlinked. So yeah, you get out and you start walking towards the main house. to go and look for your wife, which I was confused at this point. For some reason, I thought it was just a girlfriend, or I guess I wasn't really paying attention on the intro until later. But so when I went to the gate, I didn't try even go to the gate. I saw that left. I'm like, oh, I'll take the hard left right away. Is there an interaction that you can do with the main gate, or is it just you?
I think it's just locked. Like, I can't open this.
I assume he just like grabs the bars. Let me in.
Yeah, and then you get to play the rest of the game as Eric Andre. Actually, that's
Yeah. He rips the fucking front entrance off, and then you find her and you leave. That's it. Game over.
Oh, that's ending 1 or 3.
Director's cut ending.
Speedrunners, that's how they do it.
Yeah.
You need to take the supplementals right away so you can rip it off and Hulk out. So as you go the other way, you see the giant white van that, there's like a tripod sitting on the outside. And so you open it up and you got the Sewer Gator script for episode 17. And on the back, I assume, is this written in blood that says join us?
Yeah.
It's red. I remember it being red.
It's probably written in blood.
So clearly at that point, you're like, yes, I should join them.
So,
Anybody
like,
who writes things in blood.
One of the family members like went out there and wrote that in blood, because why not?
Yeah.
Or is it a family member? Because, I mean, as you get to the end, things are a little different than how I thought they were, but we'll figure that out later. So, yeah, we want to join them. So you go over to it's like a little like gap in the fence, right? That you poke through, and you start walking through this nice marshy swamp, and then you see Daddy. Well, you don't know it's Daddy yet. You just see somebody. It's like the Sasquatch sighting. Then you see the blurry video. You just see something walking in the background real quick.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that?
No.
Yeah, you get to like the water, and like if you just look like a little bit to the right, I know Ryan saw it because he's like, oh, what the.
Yeah, I knew he was coming, so like I ran after him, and he just kind of disappears into the environment. It's pretty funny. If
I never noticed that dude ever.
Oh, well, speaking of the running, this isn't running. This is...
Yeah, there's no running in this game. Not really.
It's like, I'm going to walk a little faster.
Walk at a normal pace or walk slowly.
You're also talking about a game that you get your arm cut off and it's magically stapled back together, so, I mean...
I was a pair of floating arms for that scenario.
It's the disembodied hands.
Yeah, he's just floating a little faster.
It's not mandatory like getting your hand cut off, but you can get your leg cut off too. I don't know if you guys ever had that happen to you.
I have that written down.
Yeah, and then he just like pours first aid. He like holds the leg the foot up to his leg and pours first aid on it, and it glues itself back together.
That's so fucking dumb.
It's really stupid.
I don't think I made it to that part, but yeah.
That's awesome.
I had an instance where it happened, but yeah.
All right, so we're in the guest house.
We're not to the guest house yet. We're still walking. All right. You got that lovely like cow or the bull ring legs. And then
okay, way too many legs on that cowhide, right? What was up with that?
It's also very blocky looking.
And there's only one head. Did all the legs come off of the one bull?
That's what I was wondering. I was like, did they just take a bunch of random cow legs and put this around one bovine head, or is this the thing?
It's like that KFC scandal from like way back in the day where they said they were mutating chickens that it would have like 12 drumsticks.
All right, KFC cut, apparently.
You don't remember? I suppose I'm old. I remember hearing about that, but that's obviously probably not true, right?
I remember.
Probably not.
Back in my day, Kentucky Fried Chicken had mutant chickens.
And we liked it.
That was delicious. That's part of the 12 herbs and spices. So you go through the creepy bull head leg doorway, and now you can see the house, the side of the guest house. So we're almost there. You find you find Mia's purse, her driver's license. So now you can just put a wig on made out of clay, and bam, you're set. You can converse with yourself. You got your wife back. This is the end of the game. So
yeah, that's it. Takes her driver's license and then goes home and pretends to be her.
These are the secret endings that you have to try really hard. But no, then you decide, you know what, this house looks super cool and awesome. I'm just gonna go up here and go through the front door. Or I guess no, I mean it's the kind of the front door for this part. I like how you go into the door and the door closes behind you, and you're just like, it's probably normal.
Which actually is normal in this house. Like, doors are constantly closing behind you, and it scared me
They got
90%
spring
of the
hinges.
time.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah,
it's just
that
got spring hinges. Yep.
I don't know why they have spring hinges on
Every
doors
door.
like that.
Keeps drafts down. It's better for the environment.
They're in the swamp. They're trying to keep them bugs out of the house.
Mm.
I don't know if
Also,
they're
one
trying to
other
keep the bugs
thing.
out of the house.
Before you enter the house,
Yeah,
there's
for
the
sure.
porch. There's the porch swing that you can push, but you can't get on. If you're gonna make it swing, you should be, hop on, take a little swing on the porch swing.
I don't think Ethan's trying to like kick his feet up and just hang out on this porch.
Well,
That's a dirty ass
barely
porch,
laid
man. He's
back
like,
when he gets there, he's yeah, just walk around. Little does he know, 20 minutes later he's screwed. But I don't know, things happen. So yeah, we get into the house now, and he turns on his nice little handy dandy flashlight that he never has to put new batteries in. Like, what is this? What is this flashlight made out of?
That's right.
Just runs off his battery powered hand.
you're right. That's it.
It affixes to his special watch.
That's right.
That's right. That's it. That's it. That's how it goes. So you walk in through this hallway and you get to find this very, very fantastic kitchen.
It's the
You open
best.
up a nice pot of some sort of stew, probably. You get some nice cocky roaches.
Yeah, that's the
Getting all
scariest thing in the game is the roach on your hand, honestly.
The
Yeah, I
scariest
like
thing
it.
in the game is when you open up that refrigerator and it looks like somebody just ate 20 pounds of Taco Bell and evacuated their
Yeah, just
bowel to the
backed it
shelf.
up right into the fridge. It's what that entire guest house just looked like somebody just shat all over it and just walked away. Like, it was disgusting. And I
Yeah.
think it does a really good job of setting a tone of what you're about to get into. Because I haven't played a survival horror game in a while, and so when I walked into the kitchen, it was a good reminder of whew, I'm literally walking into some shit right now. Here we go.
Yeah, I mean, and then you get a microwave that's got a raven in it. That's a good idea, right?
Delicious.
That's
Yeah.
not where you keep your ravens.
In the
There's-
microwave?
Yeah.
Is it storage or cooking method?
We keep them in the
Careful,
dishwasher.
guys.
Little
Rook's
column A,
listening.
little column B.
Raven named Rook's gonna listen to this. It's gonna be very offended. There's also a photo in the kitchen with the little girl in it. I don't know if you guys noticed that Evelyn is in it.
It's standing by she's standing by a window. It's super dark.
Yeah. Very good foreshadowing in this game. A
An
second
incredible
playthrough, you see a
foreshadowing
lot
in this
of
game.
Cool stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you should do that second playthrough, Ryan, I think.
This time all in VR.
On
Madhouse.
Now just play the next section in VR, the one that you didn't play this time.
Yeah. Just fight mommy.
Yeah, just fight Marguerite in VR.
Well,
That's
you
what
can just
do.
play the Ethan Must Die DLC because that ends with fighting Marguerite. You can do that in VR.
There you go.
Do the DLC.
We'll do a donation stream to get Ryan to pee his pants.
Yeah, what if we start an extra life and we hit $100? Would you do that for the people, Ryan?
For the kids. It's for the kids.
For the kids.
You're getting so suckered right now.
You gonna tell no to the kids? What kind of person are you? Come on. They're kids.
Laughter heals. And they will have a great time laughing at your misfortunes. As we go further through this creepy little kitchen, we get to another hallway, ended up opening a door, and we got a nice little flickering TV. So, these people just leave this TV on all the time. Static going on in the background. You find weird pictures of Mia. I think there's one of her sitting down, then there's one of her laying down, you can see her legs, and Daddy Jack is just standing there kind of creepily. And then there's one of just a cell door. She's not in it. It's just the cell door that you find her in.
You also can find the first portrait of the Bakers, right, over the
Yep. Yeah,
fireplace
there's the
mantle.
whole the family sitting right there, and you're like, oh, must be a picture of the family. Before you obviously know who any of them are, because you haven't seen any of them. So, moving along, I don't think you have the tape yet. You don't have the tape yet, right?
No, you just turn around
No,
and
you
go
go
upstairs and find it.
yeah, you go upstairs, and as you go up the stairs, you see a nice label on a button that just says steps. Like originally when I saw this or in like the demo, I thought that those steps would actually come up and like trap people. Obviously, as we know, it's just another set of steps that comes out later that we don't yet have the thing for. And you find your first save recorder, which I haven't played. Like I haven't played one in such a while that I know 5 didn't have this way, but I remember like 1 and 2, those were the typewriters, right?
Yeah, you had to have an ink ribbon.
Yeah, you had to find the ink ribbon. So, do you have to find tapes in like the harder
On
like,
Madhouse. Yep, on
You have to
Madhouse.
find tapes to pop in there.
It's limited saves. You have to find tapes, and there's no auto saving in Madhouse.
There's auto saving.
Yeah, in the base game, there's auto saving.
Oh,
Yeah, that's pretty much how I played the entire game was through autosaves.
Yeah, it's not incredibly generous, but it's generous enough that like if you skip a save point or you don't constantly run back to save, you're fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Basically, after like any big interaction, there's going to be like an autosave.
oh, okay. So I think up here is where you find the tape, right?
Yep.
So you find the tape up here. I ran back downstairs, popped that baby in right away, and this is where it starts with the paranormal. Was it Pete, Andre, and Clancy?
Yeah, the sewer gators.
Clancy must have been a local. Clancy, he was a local guy.
He was a new guy. He was a rookie.
Yeah, they didn't like him, which I like. I like how they get out and Pete's like, I don't know if I want to know about this new guy. I don't know.
I think only Pete didn't like him. The other guy was totally fine with him. Pete was a huge prick.
Like, I don't like you. And like literally 5 minutes later, he's like, that's why I like you. You're great. You don't run off. Because
Oh yeah, Andre disappears. Yeah.
He's a good
so you
character.
walk in because you're the cameraman, so you're just basically filming them.
Yeah, which is
and-
brilliant. Like it's still brilliant
Yeah,
to let you
I
play
love
as the
that.
cameraman in like a horror, everybody's gonna fucking die scenario.
Yep. And I like how they changed the filter to like a grainy, kind of more black and whitish, like Ghost Hunters type of vibe.
Yeah.
So
So you enter the house and Pete and Andre are talking about, what's the deal with this? And you're like, oh, it's a missing family, abandoned farmhouse, foul play suspected. I think they were called the Bakers. You walk through the same area that basically you just walked through. You're going back through the kitchen. You can open up the pot of stew, but this time there's no roaches in it quite yet. I think the Smack had said, like, right when you start off, you can turn around. There's that lock pick or something on the ground.
yep.
So then you can unlock one of the drawers in the house that then is open for you later.
Yep.
I didn't do that, but
Yeah, I think it's
That's
just a
what people
picture in there,
say.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
is that the picture that we were talking? Is that the picture of Evie?
I don't remember if that's the
By
picture
the
of Evie or
window?
if that was a different one. I don't know.
can't
I don't
remember.
remember.
There's
don't
a
recall.
picture in there.
There's a lot of fucking pictures in this
There's a
game.
lot of
I know.
pictures.
I didn't
There's a
write
lot of
like
pictures.
all of them down. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of like content that maybe meant a lot to people that were like super into Resident Evil, but for me, I was like, well, it's just, it's good environmental design.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a few of those
Ambient.
little specific things, but I don't remember exactly what that photo was.
Okay. That's okay. So as you continue through as Clancy and Pete and Andre, you get to that spot in that kitchen, and Pete's like, "Oh, this will be a great place for like a segue or whatever, like to start the show." And then he's like, "Right, Andre? Where's Andre? Andre's missing." So now you decide to go and find Andre, who is not responding. He is missing.
Permanently
Yeah.
not responding.
Permanently. We don't know that yet, but shh, don't tell the viewers.
Wow,
They're not here
spoilers.
yet. So as you hear like you get through the hallways and you hear like a little noise. This is where Pete's also like, "Oh, I like you. You're sticking with me. You're a good buddy." I really like you, cameraman, even though I hated you about 5 minutes ago. You hear a noise behind the door. So you open the door, and it's the living room where you find the pictures. That's where the TV is, I believe. Is the TV? Yeah, the TV's in this room.
Yep.
And this is where you find the little pull chain underneath the fireplace, which opens up the side door. You go in the side door, and there's like super sketchy ladder going down. And Pete's like, no, you got to go down first so you can get that heroic shot of me going down the ladder. So, of course, you start going down. Only good things can happen going down the ladder. You get to the bottom, turn around, and like Blair Witch style end of the movie, unless you haven't seen Blair Witch. He's just like standing there in the corner, facing it. He's like, oh, what's going on, buddy? Andre, what's wrong? And you grab him, and he's freaking somehow his face was impaled on a conduit pipe. Yeah, it could have been a pipe too.
Not a conduit from Infamous.
Yeah, he's been impaled on a Delson. It's unfortunate.
Oh, a conduit like you
worst thing.
feed like wires through.
I think it was
So he
pipe.
falls onto you, and I like when he falls onto you, and you're laying on the ground, and like there's just the like blood coming out of his eyes and his nose and his mouth, and you see footprints. I'm pretty sure that's where the tape ends, because you don't see anything.
You
You
don't
see
see
the legs.
like who takes him or anything.
Yep.
There's actually
So
you can see a lot of what happens to Clancy after that in the DLC. There's a lot of bad shit that happens to Clancy, but it's all DLC stuff.
So going further is Happy Birthdays Clancy, right?
Yes, that's the end of Clancy's story. So you do see that, I guess. But there's a lot of shit in between there. He has a terrible time there.
Yeah, Clancy gets fucked up, y'all.
It's unfortunate.
It is. I like
It's unfortunate.
good chap. So you flash back to the TV, and obviously now you follow the same path. You know, under the fireplace, pull the chain, door opens, start heading down the sketchy ladder. Ladder breaks. You fall. Oh no! You're down in super gross, wet basement land. You start crawling around, and I think there's that part that's submerged, and you like got to get under the water. And I like the little animations, like as you're passing like studs and stuff, you gotta like grab them, like you kind of bob down and go through. Then Andre pops up later again. I'm pretty sure that's Andre, right? And
Yep.
his face is super fantastic, and
He's all like waterlogged and bloated. It's gross.
they could have made it better by like having like, I don't know, like an eel like pop out of his eye socket.
Yeah.
Like very Indiana Jones.
That's what we needed in that moment.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad enough.
I
Crawling
enjoy
through a
horror.
wet basement that was flooded and a dead body floating up. We needed an eel popping out of its face as well.
Just to push it. You know, like you gotta push the envelope there. Like, I'm a big horror guy. I like that.
And Ethan grabs the eel and bites its head off like Ozzy Osbourne and spits it out.
No.
Jeez.
Now you're venturing to like Rob Zombie horror where it's like shock and awe. Like, I can't look because it's disturbing. Not like I'm scared. Like I'm uncomfortable. But anyway, poor old Andre. We'll just leave him in the water. You know,
Not much we can do.
Yeah.
bury him. I don't know. Pull him along the shore. His leg would probably fall off anyway, so it probably wouldn't happen. I guess it's not shore since you're underneath the basement. Oh, poor Andre. I don't think any of these guys in this sewer gators really have any luck. Well, Andre died fast, at least.
Yeah, he was the most fortunate, actually.
Yeah.
So you get out, and there's like a whole bunch of missing people posters. Missing persons posters? Missing person pamphlets?
You got it.
They're on the
Nailed
They're
it.
all there. I didn't look, way into them. I just know there's a whole bunch there. You keep going. You get to find the toilet full of syringes, which, would always be fun to sit on. You go further down and you see the cell from the picture that you saw earlier. You approach it and like, hey, who's inside? It's me.
Yay, game's almost over.
Game's over.
Ooh, Mia sucks.
Not great.
You turn to the left. Oh, look at that. And there's bolt cutters right there. It's a good place to have bolt
Very
cutters.
fortunate.
Yeah, it's very good.
I thought it was weird that he was like, "Don't mind if I do."
Yeah, he has some weird lines throughout this game.
But
He is
in the demo,
not as scared as he should be.
No.
you find those bolt cutters in like cow body or something, like chunks.
Yeah,
of
you find them
in
like
the entrance.
somewhere stuffed somewhere, so you can cut the bolts or the chain off the locker or the
Yeah.
cabinet. Yeah.
But you know, whatever. You know, it's a bolt cutter. It gets around. It's got legs.
Yeah, which
There's other creepy things happening.
bolt cutters are a weird like staple of the Resident Evil series now. I don't know how far back that goes, but RE2 remake, RE3 remake, RE7, all bolt cutters you get. Weird.
Hey man, a lot of shit's chained up in horror
I
games.
guess.
Yeah,
Sure.
you always gotta have bolt cutters. Like, just go buy one now. Everybody, go out to your hardware store and buy.
Yeah,
a
the
bolt
zombie
cutter.
apocalypse is coming in 2021.
Yeah. You're gonna
already
need to cut chains off stuff. It's bound to happen. You can be your own locksmith. Ta-da! Also, about this game, they're very don't pick the lock. We'll break the lock. We'll get to that later. So, hey Mia, bolt cutter, you're free. Let's go. And she's like, "What? What are you doing here? Why are you here? I didn't tell you to come here. Did I tell you to come here?" There's really weird conversation things happening with Mia right now.
Yeah, this is like the very first sign. Like shit's fucked up.
This is the first sign.
no, with Mia.
Oh, okay.
Mia is fucked
Yeah,
up.
that Mia's fucked up.
Because I mean, you haven't seen anything crazy yet.
I think that tape was pretty crazy. I think at that point
Yeah,
he should
also a
have
floating
left.
dead
But
body
that
under the
could have been a
basement.
snuff film.
He should have left immediately. I think if you go try the door, it's locked anyways, so it makes
Yeah,
sense
you
that he
can't get
can't
back out.
leave. But any player should be role playing as Ethan and go check that fucking door as soon as they walk into the kitchen and see how fucked up it is. They should go check the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Time to leave. I'm out of here. Anyway, so yeah, she's super shocked that you're there. No idea like what the hell's going on. She asks if he saw you. At this point, you're like, "Who's he? I don't know who he is. What are you talking about? You're crazy." We got to go now before Daddy comes. She's very elusive at this point. Tells you nothing of what is really going on. I think this is the spot, Tyler. I think you said it. If you go to this space before you get Mia out, there's like
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
blocking your way, like really
Yeah,
stupid.
there's like cardboard or some shit in the way, and you can't go past it. It's like a piece of plywood. You can't go
Okay.
past it. So
So now it's magically gone.
yeah, that's how I learned that I had to go back and get Mia out of the cell because I saw that cell door and I was like, "Fuck that! I'm not going near that." I just kept going. And
I want to find a way out first.
yeah, so that was one of those things. Is like, okay, whatever. It's a video game. So
Sure. So carrying on, you squeeze through your little hole there.
meanwhile, she's like, "This is where they came to feed me."
Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, we're gonna be like." She says something else like, "Oh, now we'll be a family again," or something weird like that, like super out of context.
After you get to the room and she loses her mind about the door, she says that.
Oh,
Yeah.
is that okay? So yeah, oh, that's right here anyway. So you get to that room, and she's like, "There's another door here. I know there's another door here. Where's the door? The door is gone. Why isn't there another door?" And she like kind of just stumbles over to the couch,
Mhm. Yeah,
like,
that's
flops down and
about the
starts
family.
talking all gibberish.
Mhm.
Then you can go look at dolls.
Yeah, there's a
In the
doll
other
of
room?
Mia and a doll of Evelyn, I believe, in the other room.
Yeah. So you can look at those dolls. As you pick up the second, no, I think it's the first one. You just hear her screaming. I didn't go run back first. I continued looking at the dolls to see if there was anything there because
Yep, I also did that.
thought she was dead anyway. So what's the worst that could happen? You walk back and she's gone. Obviously, the door is hidden in the pallet wood or like makeshift, whatever that was.
Yeah, I think it was just plywood, like a plywood wall.
Yeah. Oh, also you get to. That's where you see the picture of the granny in the wheelchair. At this point,
Oh yeah.
it's a granny in the wheelchair that says, "What
God,
was it?
incredible fucking foreshadowing.
Yeah, it
E
does.
dash 001 or something, or E100 or something. like
Yep. That's honestly like going back and watching Ryan stream that section after beating it. I was like, that's so fucking incredible that they foreshadowed that all the way at that point. I think it's great. I love it.
I mean, they literally tell you at the beginning, hey, this is E001. You just, by the time you see
Yep.
E001 come up again, you probably don't even remember that photo.
No,
Yeah.
because so much shit has like happened at that point.
Yeah.
Well, you loop back around.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
So it
do
makes
see it
sense
again at
when
the
you see
very
the
end.
picture
Yeah.
the next time. So
so good.
you go looking for Mia up the stairs. You start going through all the house. I think this is like the bathroom, and is this the? It's just a bunch of other part of the house.
Yep. And then you hear a bunch of banging on the walls.
Yeah, and then I think you end up going back to the door that you came from,
Yep.
and this is when you open the door, and as you go down these steps is where Ryan shit his pants.
This is like, this is one of two shots in the game that I really found just amazing. Like the little bit of walking down the stairs, and you can't see her, and then you can barely see her,
You
and then
can
suddenly she
hear her.
pops right
Yep.
in your face.
It's like super creepy because you can hear this weird, like erratic breathing, and it like
Yep.
slowly gets deeper and deeper, and then it's very new version Evil Dead. Her coming up the steps.
Yeah, like her skin is all pale, and she's got like the crazy like black veins all
Yep.
over the place, and you could tell it's like, oh fuck.
So
You go ahead.
I watched a walkthrough to like refresh myself on this before the show, and when you play that section on a flat screen, you can see her crawling down the stairs a little bit before the jump scare comes.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah, no.
solid black until face.
Well, I'm
in
sure it
VR.
depends on what you have your brightness set as too.
No,
like
so
Gamma and whatnot. Because mine I have down all the way like super black.
well, I suppose that's true. If you turn it down more, you might not see it on the screen. But the walkthrough I saw, there was a quick shot of her like climbing down the stairs, and then a moment or two later, the jump scare.
I definitely never saw that.
I don't remember.
You see her crawling up the stairs a little bit. I think in VR you
He's
are
just-
able to see that as well, but you have to be looking down the stairs to see her coming up. If you're just
Oh.
looking straight.
But
I mean, it's meant to be. It's supposed to be the like, welcome to the horror game. Like, that's what happens.
why did I accept that invitation?
Yeah, regardless, that part is like fucking crazy. Like it immediately goes from like, oh, we're just like walking around this place finding stuff to like, okay, now we're into the horror part. Like
Yeah.
this is it.
Yeah, talk about
Yeah.
turning the dial up.
Yeah.
And she starts
Immediately.
manhandling you. Does she like whip you across the like way back down the hallway?
Mm-hmm. Throws you all the way up the stairs into the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Comes up and like while you're on the ground trying to collect yourself, you see a knife.
Yeah,
and
she
then
somehow
throws you
gets that
down the hallway.
butcher knife, and then she's like stabbing at you, and you're just like, oh god, and then just right through your freaking hand. It's like right in your face. Well, in your face, not for us. But
And you would think like his reaction would be like, oh, what the fuck? What the fuck? But he's just like immediately keeps fighting. It's like, oh, video games,
yeah, super strong, stabbing you with a knife. Like that's good.
Just pour some alcohol on it. It'll be all right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just dump some peroxide on your hand anywhere.
Oh, he just
and it'll-
immediately takes the bottle and just, this is
Yeah.
it. This will make it.
Yeah, it's just
everything good.
natural for him. Like, oh, you just pour
Yeah.
in this world, you just pour first aid on shit, man. That's just how it works.
No gauze needed.
No. No stitches or nothing.
So eventually, she like, after fighting her, she kind of comes back to, and
She
Mia's
slams
like,
her head against the wall, right?
Well, she's like, I can hear her. I can feel her crawling back inside of me. And then she starts bashing her head into the wall. Like, it's okay. Bang, bang. So she just knocks herself all cold.
I love that.
Yeah.
Right after that, Ethan looks at her and goes, Mia, what the fuck? And I was thinking, yes, what the fuck is happening right now?
And then she like kind of like you get up and start walking. And I think if you turn around, she's gone.
Yeah.
And then you just back up a little more. And then she's back and like does like a freaking weird wrist lock hold on you.
Is that when she
Like-
slams you through the wall?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it starts coming at you again. Oh, luckily, thank God she threw you into a room that somehow has a hatchet. And start just freaking swinging at her until she catches it right in the freaking neck, which is a lot of fun. It's like one of those things, like it's like frantic, it's like, oh God, do something, help! Nope, she's dead. Well,
Sure.
was she
Yeah.
already dead? We don't know. I mean, she could have been. She comes back anyway, so. I think after you knock her down, then Zoe calls you for the first time. Because I think the phone is ringing, and she tells you to head to the attic. So after answering the phone, turning around, Mia's body's gone again.
Very
Crazy
creepy.
Mia.
I love it.
God, come on, Mia.
Strange.
What's going on? So after you start heading back up, and so she told you to go to the attic, so start going that way, try and get to the attic. Getting to the attic doesn't matter because you get up there, and you need that fuse. Well, you don't know you need the fuse quite yet, I don't think, because you hit the stop button, nothing happens. So you remember, oh, I got the bolt cutters. Go back to the hallway, open up that weird wardrobe, right? That's where the fuse is.
Yep.
I think that's where the fuse is. Go
Yeah.
pop the fuse in. You run back up, hit the button. Stairs come down, right? And so this has got that weird. This is where you get the gun, right? The gun's on the table.
Well,
And it's got like a clip.
I think we
Okay,
skipped
it's
the
like-
part where you get your hand cut off, didn't we? 'Cause I
Did
think you get
that-
the gun
no,
after that.
Do you get the gun after that?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get your hand cut off in the hallway.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you're going back to when you're going to get the fuse,
Yeah.
or is it after you got the fuse?
No, I think it's before you get slammed into the wall, right?
It's after you install the fuse when you go.
When you're going back to
upstairs.
go up the attic,
To
she
go up
comes
the
back
attic,
out.
She.
Oh.
Right.
She slams your freaking
Yeah, she
hand in the
slams
wall
you-
with a screwdriver.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I like how you can try and fight it too. Like, I'm gonna get this out, and then she just walks away. You just hear.
Yeah, and
It's
I
like,
think
oh, good. This
it's
is
somewhere
good.
in here. I think it's maybe while she's walking away, you can hear her say, "It's my job. Must contain the outbreak. Must burn it all down." Which is the first clue. You would have no idea unless you played the whole game, but it's very clearly her talking about her job as a bioterrorist, basically. Bioterrorist
Secret
containment, but really she's developing biological weapons.
Yes, perfect. It's fantastic. That's how you
Before
do
that
it.
shadow
Yeah, it
went.
would have to be after you got the fuse, because how would you use the bolt cutters if you're missing a freaking hand? That would suck. Just like jam it in the little nub.
Correct. Evil Dead style, just
Yes. Yep.
bolt cutter
Very
in.
bad. So yeah, then she just comes at you and cuts the old hand off. My favorite part about this is that you can go and pick up your hand. Now, did anybody not pick up the hand?
I didn't
Because
pick
I'm
up the
very curious what happens if you don't pick the hand up.
It's not any different.
No,
I guess
Yeah, I
just
think I picked the hand up just because it was laying on the ground and it was my
I
hand.
did, because I thought it was. I'm like, oh, it's my hand. And he like kind of looks at it for a second, and like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm just gonna stick this in my pocket.
I guess the implication is that Zoe goes and grabs the hand anyway if you didn't grab it
Why would Zoe grab the hand?
to staple it back on you.
Zoe's the one that staples it on you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the hell I was looking at that dinner party. That's not what I remember happening, but
Too busy watching Lucas and
yeah,
Jack.
whipping food at you.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Gotta fend off crazy chainsaw lady. Now you go up to the attic, find the gun, and look, there's another ladder. Let's do that. We can get on top of the house. We can get out. Climb the ladder. Bust through the frickin' wall with the chainsaw, knock you down. Chris, I think you said this was really like 2 clips worth of bullets you had to pump into me at this point in
For
like the hard.
normal. On normal, it's probably like a clip or 2. Hard, I think it's like if you're doing headshots, it's like 20 shots or something. But yeah,
I have a
easy,
note
it's
here.
like 3 shots. It's hilarious how easy it is on easy.
One of my notes I wrote on my phone as I was playing. What the fuck is up with Mia? I shot that chick in the head so many fucking times.
She has a very thick skull, all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they basically they
Uh,
want you to have to run around that environment and not have your eyes on her so that you can find more ammo. Unless you are playing on easy or on normal, I
Yeah.
think if you have perfect aim and get all headshots with your original clip, you can do it without running around.
I mean, I remember not dying, but that's really the extent of what I remember happening. But I did shoot her a lot.
Yeah.
So you knock her down, and then Daddy comes out, and
Yeah.
he says, "I hate you." No. Welcome to the family.
Welcome to the family,
Wow.
son.
Knock you out.
Yeah, and it's
The
funny.
game has begun.
Yeah, they let you walk around a little bit there, but no matter where he ends up knocking you out, you still pop up right next to Mia wherever you killed her. You like it like teleports you to wherever you killed Mia.
Well, he has powers, so
Yeah, you're right.
he is
teleports you.
unnatural.
You just hallucinated that you moved away.
Oh, true.
Yeah, you were spirit walking. It's okay. You'll be all right. So you kind of come through being like dragged through the grass, and then you black out, and then you come back, and oh, good, look, my hand is getting stapled back on, and magically it works again.
That's funny because I have in my notes, okay, your hand is magically stitched back together. What the fuck?
Especially from a chainsaw cutting. It's not like a very clean butcher knife cut you in one fell swoop.
You're like missing at least a half inch of like material there.
Yeah, it kind of seems like the implication is that you have been infected at this point because all of the family like regrows their limbs without giving a shit, you know? So having your hand stapled back on, being able to use it, and then later having your foot cut off, if that happens to you, like you can just kind of glue it back on with first aid. It's kind of implied that you're infected, but like that there's never any. They never say that explicitly, and there's never any bad result from that or anything. Even though you're trying to find the serum for Mia and Zoe later, it's not like you ever are trying to find the serum for yourself.
But then why do you got to make all this first aid? You can just put your hand back on, and it works.
Video games, man.
Those staples are just for show. Like,
yeah, we won't get too much into it, but there are a lot of videos out there about the weird inconsistencies of the virus across a bunch of different people in this game, and how fast it acts and how slow it acts on others, and then literally the DLC makes it seem like overnight the family goes crazy, which is a very cool DLC, the daughter's DLC. But then like you have a journal in Marguerite's room later that says she went to the doctor one day, and then 4 days later she got her x-ray results, so things just don't line up very well. There are a lot of plot holes in this game.
Just have better immunity, that's all.
But we gotta ignore that shit.
Yeah, it's very easy to ignore it and just be like, this is creepy. Let's be creeped out.
So yeah, Lucas is throwing like food at you. Doesn't Marguerite like flip out? Oh, he's not gonna eat it. He's not gonna eat it. Like she just goes nuts. He's gotta eat his food. And he's like giving you like some weird like decaying snail. Like what the hell is he trying to feed you?
And then there's some random old lady in a wheelchair.
Yeah, just to your right, you can just like look at her, and her eyes are just like
totally random.
Yeah, she has no bearing on this story whatsoever.
Just grandma.
So after you don't eat it, like what does he stab you in the mouth with a knife?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Is he like trying to pull your teeth out? Like I'm a little confused.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought he tried to take your teeth out.
Or is he like trying to like cut your mouth open to stick food inside?
I thought he was just,
maybe
like,
trying to cut the lips off.
Could be.
Make you attractive. Yeah, and then he goes over and cuts Lucas's hands off for what, fun? Like I don't understand.
It's like,
that
not
part.
again.
No, I love cutting hands off. I got a collection of hands up over there. This family loves hands. And then what do we got? Oh, the phone rings. And I go, probably that damn policeman again. And they all just leave. Then you're hanging out with grandma, having your dinner party.
And then you got to kind of
Knock
rock back
yourself
and
over.
forth.
Yeah, you just rock yourself back and forth, fall over, bust yourself out. I'm free. My hand works. It doesn't hurt at all.
Yeah,
Just run around while grandma stares at us.
There's a book in a box nearby. I don't remember what the name of the book is, but it's written by Clive O'Brien, and that's a reference to Resident Evil Revelations 2. That's the very first time that it connects at all to the other games, but it could very easily have just been an Easter egg, but we see that it does connect firmly to the other games at the end, so it probably is a legitimate connection.
Cool.
Just a fun reference.
My favorite part about this, like after you're walking around, so you got those Post-its on the refrigerator, like how to make human stew, and like there's like a lady, or like it'll be like a name and like how many pounds and then what they made out of them.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, gross.
Great.
Yeah, it's just fucking gross.
Yeah. So you go out those side doors, and when you go down, when you see the garage sign, you go down to the garage, it's got the human-proof tape.
Yeah, what the fuck is that? What?
Like you got a watch on. You could probably take the watch off, and you got this nice little nice little edge right here. See, video viewers, here you go. You got this little thing,
Yeah.
My
probably
watch,
cut-
my
You
watch
could
doesn't
cut-
have one of those.
but you still have a hard edge. You could easily stick that through tape and
That's
cut it.
it's human
pretty hard
proof
tape.
tape.
It's not human-proof tape. It's
Finger
video
proof.
game mechanics. So you go up and you go the other direction in the hallway, and Daddy comes walking by, and he just kind of like stares at that. It's like a nightstand in the corner that there's magically a key on,
Yeah.
right? That's a key, the key to the hatch in the other
Yep.
room that's locked.
Yep.
So you get him to notice you, and then you play like a little cat and mouse thing. And get him to chase you around, and then you go back out through the door, down the hallway, and then he just like busts through the wall. Like, best craftsmanship ever in this house. How the hell do you do that?
Is
Might as
it?
well.
Does he already have the shovel at this point?
Yes, he has the shovel.
Okay,
So
so
he has
I-
something in his hand. I assume
yeah,
it's the
I have a note. I don't know who this dad is, but he's scary as shit with that shovel.
Yeah, I mean that's a great thing that they put really early on because it has you scared, kind of like Nemesis in the original Resident Evil 3, which I never played, but I've seen where like he can really bust into any room. Like you never know
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
he's gonna come. Which there are, especially in the lower difficulties, there are a lot of limits to where this Jack Maker will or will not go. But you don't know. Like you think he can bust through anywhere.
Yeah, that's true. But that's the only like significant time while you're moving around. I think that he actually breaks.
Yeah, I think it's the only
through a
time he does
wall,
it.
at least. Yeah, yeah, but it's good to like put that fear in you early. Like, okay, I'm not safe
Yeah.
really anywhere. So you do more cat and mouse looping around. He's fairly easy to lose most of the time. Like,
Not if you're me. If you're real bad at games, he's not.
I did die to him once before I was like, oh, this is actually, it's pretty easy to evade
Okay.
him.
so yeah, you just go around, pop the little key in the hatch, drop into the floor. You'll never see me. I'm free. I've now escaped. You get to crawl through the underbellies of the little house here. I think you just make your way back around to the safe room.
Mhm.
So basically,
Yep.
you go nowhere. You
Yeah.
go back the way you didn't come. But I like how when you get to that initial safe room, they have PVC plumbing in there. It's not cast iron. Like, you don't understand. Like, that's like new. Like, they
Very
actually did something to this house that made sense.
Well, I think it only went to shit recently. I
No.
mean,
Well,
3 years ago.
I used to work for a sewer
Yeah.
and drain company, so like the fact that they have PVC in there is like, this is gonna, like, if they ever clog anything, it'd be super easy to clean. It's
Wow.
fantastic.
I'm sure they're gonna have a lot of clogs with the shit they're doing. So
Well, they're eating people. I can only imagine what's coming out of their body.
people
Yeah, fingers, bones.
or peoples.
Anyway, that was my notice.
Yeah, I like that. You have to just like loop back around at the safe room because I believe the door was locked from the other side.
Yeah, you can go into it. Yeah.
But when you're in here, this is I think where you can find your first bobblehead, which is a fun collectible. You know.
Yeah. You can actually
No.
you can find one in the hallway earlier.
Oh
Like,
well,
yeah,
I
very end of the
missed
But
that one.
you don't have anything to hit it with, because you don't get anything until you exit this, and
It's true.
The-
well,
oh,
you
yeah,
exit
you-
the room, and then the phone rings.
Yeah.
Like, why didn't the phone ring while I was in the room? Literally,
Yeah, I
you
know.
open the door, the phone rings, you turn back around, and it's Zoe again, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Who else would it be? I don't remember what she tells you to do at this point. Probably get out of the
Yeah, I think
house.
she says to meet her in the main house.
Okay. So anyway, you talk to her, you exit that, and then you got the police officer sitting there. You see the lights out in the window.
Hey, what are you doing in there?
Yeah, what are you doing? You walk over there. You're like pleading with this police officer. You gotta help me, man. These people are gonna kill me. Like, murderers in here. You don't understand. And it's like, this guy's not having it. He's like, I don't know, you could be the crazy kidnapping all these people. Like, what are you doing? It's like, you gotta help me. It's like, meet me in the garage. It's like, give me your gun. No. Here's a pocket
It's a
knife.
big ask.
It is a big ask. I mean, at least he gives you a pocket knife,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Which on New
now
Game
you
Plus,
have a way to
Sorry.
get through the human-proof tape.
Yeah, with the knife.
Fantastic. with
Which,
the knife.
yeah, on New Game Plus, well, it's not really New Game Plus, but if you've beaten the game before, you have access to the Albert 01R, which is the gun you
My
get, like,
favorite.
way at the end of the game.
Oh,
in the
like
very final
literally
boss.
the last thing you do
Yeah.
while you're playing.
So you get access to that gun. It only has a 3-bullet chamber, but you have it before you even talk to that police officer, so it's kind of silly that he's begging him for his shitty cop gun when he's got this secret agent umbrella gun.
Well, they're not gonna rewrite the script just for that, but
They should have rewrote the script.
rewrote it.
Yeah, I have an
Redo it
issue with
all.
this whole interaction with the cop. I don't like how he's like, "Oh, hey, here's some random dude behind a boarded up window with barbed wire around it. Let me
I'm not-
not act like he's in any sort of fucking trouble
Yeah.
at all." You know?
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, you get, like we said, you get a pocket knife.
Yeah, but I mean, he gives you a knife. Like, he hands you a knife, and you're like, "Bro, I'm in trouble. I'm in a house with boarded up windows and barbed wire all around them." He's like, "Meet me in the garage."
Why doesn't he call for backup?
Yeah, what the fuck is wrong with this guy?
Well, I suppose he doesn't know what really is happening at this current. Like, he has no way of knowing. Like, you're just a guy in a house, but he would like have seen you before, right? He's a local officer. Like, he has to know who the bakers are.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like
this is
there had to have been stories. It has to be a small town. There had to have been stories of like, oh, this family lives out here in the bayou, blah blah blah. You know,
yeah.
I mean,
and
they're
he
all
just
those.
shows up and it's just like, take this knife and meet me in the garage. Okay.
But with this knife, you can cut through the human-proof tape. So
That is true.
Correct. That is correct. Correct statement.
So you go back because now you have the tool of victory, the knife. You cut through the box, open it up, and what is he? He's inspecting something on the ground, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember what it is though.
Yeah. And he stands up as you
Yeah,
open
turns
it.
around, starts talking to you, and like you see the door start closing, and I think you like start to bring the knife up. He's like, "Oh no, put it down!" And bam, he becomes a human pest dispenser. And
Yeah, he gets
Yep.
scalped.
this part
That's
of
more
his
than scalp, dude. Like,
Yeah,
It's
it's,
like-
a little further down than scalp.
nose down. Oh,
it's like shoveling snow, you know, and you got to get the frozen layer off the top first. That's what they do to this
Get to the
guy.
good soft inside.
God, that was disturbing. You know, watching that shovel go through that guy's face like that. 'Cause
And
you're
how
like,
sharp is that shovel? Like literally.
sharp as shit, but also that guy's got like bioweapon strength apparently.
Yeah.
You know, that we didn't know about. So
Good point.
Speed is a factor. I
Oh,
like how
God.
also after he knocks him on the ground, he starts kicking him and hitting him too. It's
yeah,
like, he just took his brain out. Like, what's he gonna do to you? So, I don't know. It's a video game, right? So, who had a? I think everybody probably had a sacrificial run at this boss, right?
that shit was hard.
I don't know what's going on. Like, I ran around. Like, I found the car keys, but at that point, it was kind of too late. And I
Yep.
found all the other stuff. So he hops in the car. Is it possible to kill him if he's in the car? Like, is there a way to do it without you being the one driving the car?
I don't know.
I don't know
gonna
if there's a way to get him out of the car once he gets in.
Because I was curious. Like, I was shooting at him. I was like, man, what the hell? Like,
I bet there's not.
on my
Because that's too much of like a scripted sequence, you know, for it to be any different. You know,
Okay.
especially like once he crashes it and like gets out and catches on fire. I don't see that could play out any other way, unless
So
unless
after
you
we
somehow
all-
shot the car and it blew up.
yeah, well, shoot the gas tank.
Yeah.
So after our sacrificial run at the boss, the second time we know to grab the key, get in the car, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So you like drive around, you're knocking him around for a little bit, and all of a sudden you're like, where the hell did he go? Oh, he's on top of the car. Rips the hood off. Starts like whispering sweet nothings in your ear.
Yeah, he's
Hitting you
like,
a little bit.
let me teach you how to drive there, Ethan. He's like, yeah,
Yeah.
like your daddy.
You got your driver's license on you? Sure do. It's Mia.
But if you got the cops badge, it's like license and registration. You know.
Oh yeah, you got to make sure you pick up that gun. Somebody
yeah,
didn't do it.
Oh yeah,
Magically
I didn't
appeared
know you
later.
could park the car on top of the gun.
Yep.
What
That was
happened
weird.
to Ryan on the stream?
So after a lot of back and forth, he like rams the wall with the car while he's got the wheel, and like those I-beams fall over. And among one of the other cool features in VR over playing on, like, you can move your head. So I like how when you, Ryan, were getting like flown at it, you actually like dodged. We're like, we're just like, and it's like you like kind of just sink down like this a little bit, and it's like over the top of your head. It's like, oh.
I flicked my head around so hard when I did that. I'm pretty sure I messed my neck up for like 4 days.
So,
but at that part, I still instinctively, I wasn't playing in VR. I still did one of like these, you know, just a reaction to something coming straight at you.
Mm-hmm.
So he's laying kind of unconscious now. You're still miraculously survived. You get out and you can walk around for a little bit, and then like the car starts on fire.
Yep.
And he starts on fire, right? He gets out and starts kind of walking towards you. And then it blows up. He falls on the ground. So you're like, oh, all right, we're good now. You go to the ladder to go up. He just grabs you. And what is he? I'm going to show you something wonderful, right? He grabs your hand and puts the gun in his mouth and just blows off like the entire right side of his head.
Yep.
That shit was wild, dude. I was not expecting it at all.
There's something wrong with
This
Jack.
being the first time I played it, like, I was like, what the fuck is this game? I had no idea what the rest of it was going to be, because I thought he was the main villain,
Sure.
you know? So at that
But you
point,
also
it's
think like, yeah, he's dead. I did it.
yeah.
Yay. Also, when you get to the top here, though, it's I like the little mechanic. So you find that like the Taurus body on that plaque, the bull.
Yep.
And you got to flip it around and like undo that wing nut.
Yep.
To get the piece off. So that's the
yeah.
piece you need to get out of or into like the main.
Yep, into the foyer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
the
also
foyer.
there's also a note up there that talks about the hurricane from 3 years ago that blew the ship off course into the bayou. And also, that report was written by Alyssa Ashcraft, which is a character from Resident Evil Outbreak. She's a news reporter in that as well.
It's all coming
There's a lot of connections.
together.
Well, I mean, they've made how many games?
It's almost like this is the 7th game.
No, there's definitely more than 7.
Yeah.
Just 15th or something.
It's awful. So entering this new part of the house, this is where the bobblehead's like on your right, on that shelf by like the plants and stuff.
Yep.
And then
There's also
like, you
one
enter.
in the back hallway as well.
Oh, that's the one I'm talking about. Yeah, as you enter and turn, there's another one that says "Shoot me."
Yep. Yeah.
And this is like, so I actually shot this one. I think this is the first one I got. That went back and got the other one, and like I wasted my bullets. I'm like, what the hell am I doing this? And then I found out you can hit it with a knife, and it's like, oh, damn it, Tom, why do you do such things? So in this hallway, you see it's the door. They need the 3 dogs' heads. You got the door with the scorpion. You got the room with the light. You got the room with the shotgun statue, and then you can go upstairs, snake room that's locked, and unlocked room.
And I think there's another scorpion room up there as well.
On the bottom floor, there's a scorpion. I don't think there's a scorpion upstairs.
I think
There's 2. There's
I think the
one on the
top one's
bottom.
the
There's
snake.
one on there's one on the bottom and one on the top.
There's one on the top once you go through the door, but not in that main area. It's inside of the
Not in
rec
the
room. There's a
main-
scorpion door on top.
Oh yay!
Yeah, and
Yeah, there's
where the billboard or billiards table is. Billboard.
Yeah, the billiard room.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
But I saw all those doors, and it was just like, here we go, baby. We're playing video games.
And then you're like, oh,
I got some
this one's
keys
locked.
to get.
This one's locked. This one's locked. This one's locked. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
no!
I love that shit. I was all for it.
Very nice. Well, I'm glad you enjoy it.
Thank you. I love this game. This game is great.
So when I went upstairs, I actually went into that bathroom first
Yep.
Oh no!
and did the bathtub stuff first, which
gross.
makes the
So
rest
good.
of the stuff a pain in the butt. Because then you got Jack walking around. Because you go in there, you drain the bathtub, and the
You
hell
get
is in there?
You get the little light thing, the thing that you put in the light and twist around.
Yep.
I don't remember what it's actually supposed to be, but
Is it an eagle?
Oh yeah, the block, puzzle thing.
Yeah, I think that's the eagle.
Yeah, the wooden block. Yeah, so you get that out, and so I go and I went to open the door, and of course Jack's there, so let's play run around the freaking bathtub. So I didn't do any of the billiard room stuff yet, and I think in there is where you find another VHS tape, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Of Mia.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like crouched behind the bar, waiting for him to walk by, and then I pop up and just put it in. I'm gonna watch a movie real quick. There,
Yeah.
over there in the corner.
Be all right.
And we already talked about it, but I really like the VHS tapes, like how they like move you into like different areas. So this one, it's Mia talking into the camera, and then you become Mia. So at first, I was kind of like just standing there. It's like, okay, what's gonna happen? And they're just like, why am I not moving? And then I started moving it, and I'm like, oh, I'm in control. Like I thought it was cutscene. Of course, why not? So you get to go into, I don't even know, like, what is this house? How many freaking houses do people have? Because we already had the guest house.
This is the old
What is
house.
this place? This is the old house.
Mhm.
We're in the new house.
Yeah.
The newer house.
Yeah, the old house is where Marguerite stays.
Because she smells.
Yeah, because she smells really
Yeah,
good.
and she's disgusting, and she deserves to stay out there by herself.
Yeah.
So, going down this passageway, isn't there like a bunch of dolls like hanging on strings?
Yep.
Like as you walk down this little porch area. As you get to the house, I think you open the door, and when you get in there, you can hear. Well, we know it's Evie, but you hear a little voice go, "Mommy!" Like, what the hell is that? It's only the voice. Literally that just happened. Like, that's all you hear.
I
You
think
go around
in VR, I was able to look over quick. I'm pretty sure I saw like a silhouette.
like a run. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Very
can
well
see
could
her real quick.
Okay. Well, I only heard the voice because I wasn't fast enough. But
Being able to do this helps a lot. It's a lot quicker than the camera movement.
Until the next day when your neck is all fucked up, right?
So you throw your neck out.
Yeah.
Oh God, help me. So now you get to play cat and mouse with Marguerite.
She sucks.
But this part, she's not that bad. I didn't mind
Gosh,
that. Like
I
think
got
tried
caught here twice. I hate this
Oh.
lady. She sucks.
Yeah.
Certainly time consuming, but
Yeah, because it's a lot of just crouch and wait, and like you can hear, and then she goes. So you hide behind the box the first time, and she goes through the door, and you run past, go on the outside, and you see this is where you can find like the burner frame, I think. So the first time I didn't go and hide behind the door like you're supposed to. I went the other way, and then you're trapped.
You got the
Okay.
burner frame at that?
No,
part
you
of the
can
game?
just see it
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
just look
in
at
the
it.
can. You pick it up and you look at it. You can spin it around, but then she just puts it back
Oh,
down.
okay.
So anyway, what you're supposed to do is hide behind the door, and then she comes out, walks over there, and then she'll walk back and go through. And I think down on the one side, is that where you find the? Do you find the spider puzzle piece? That's in the room, or is it on the outside of the room?
It's in the room, I believe.
Like,
Did
is
you
it
find
already
it-
on the
Because
pedestal?
yeah, it's moved later on.
Yeah, I think it's already on
Yeah.
the pedestal originally.
It's already on the pedestal. So after
Yeah.
she goes back through, this is your first get to play with the shadow puzzle.
Yeah, I did
wait.
the eagle shadow puzzle before this. I watched this tape in a
Oh,
different
really?
safe room, but
Okay. Well, this is the
Either
first time. So after doing this is how I knew. I'm like, oh, okay. Now that's what that stupid thing is. I pulled out of the bathtub that somebody shit their brains out in. Now I
A
know
lot
what
of
I'm
Taco
gonna
Bell.
do. Yes, there's a lot of Taco Bell in this game. Who knew?
that's probably the only restaurant they have there. They've got one Taco Bell and one Walmart.
All we gotta eat.
It's like right down the street. There was probably a Taco Bell on the tanker that came in. They just keep going in there and raiding it.
That
So I'm not-
explains it.
Gonna directly call out one of our listeners, but somebody sucks at the shadow puzzle game. Somebody's partner is very good at the shadow puzzle game. Right? So if anybody watched Dory streaming this,
Whoa! What happened to not calling out this listener specifically? That went out the window fast.
I'm not going to call anybody out, but let me just say,
We love you, Dory.
I don't think Dory will deny the fact of the skill in manipulating this. To benefit Dory, though, she did get it, the spider one. Took a little bit longer. The eagle one gave up. And Kim, right? Kim? I think that's her partner.
I think so.
Yeah.
Did it in mere seconds. Like, literally. The eagle one. Pulled up the thing, like, spun it, like, 10 seconds. Boom. Open.
but in her defense, I mean, I had a lot of issues with the spider one and the eagle one too, whereas like I thought I had it lined up perfectly, and then for whatever reason, it just would not go when I would select it to insert the shadow into that frame.
Oh. Yeah, see, I
Yeah.
didn't have any problems, and even mine weren't completely lined up, and then it would just kind of move
It
them
moves them a little bit.
and then burn it in. I don't know.
Yeah, I was kind of worried about these because I remember them being very hard, but they weren't that bad this time.
I've never done something similar to this. I didn't find too many.
I mean, I loved it. This is the kind of
I
game
enjoyed
I
it,
really
yeah.
like. You know, I like puzzle solving and like manipulation of materials and stuff like that. It reminded me a lot of Superliminal. I don't know if you guys have played that.
I've seen it.
Oh,
but I haven't
Emmy
played
was
it.
going to get that one with certain winnings, but yeah, she didn't get it.
Yeah, it's a fun game, but it reminded me a lot of that.
Yeah, I thought they were pretty easy, but I have a mind for spatial, three-dimensional puzzles like that.
Ryan's a genius.
Ryan,
So.
yeah, he's a
No.
puzzle wizard over there.
That's not at all what I'm saying.
Put on your wizard hat.
I'm saying like geometry was my best class in high school because shapes are like just the way my brain works.
So you're saying that you're a geometric wizard?
It's a
He's
lot
a
of humble bragging
geo
going on here.
wizard.
So
Earthbender,
anyway,
yes.
moving along in the game, you open up the spider puzzle, which just makes that little crack. Oh, you see the lightning out there? That's cool.
Uh-oh.
It's storming over here. You go
It's spooky
down.
season, y'all.
Ah, spooky. Speaking of spooky, when you go down this hallway later, it's way worse. But you slide in between the walls as Mia makes you get to the other side, and so there's like a body of water underneath, you know, because it's a swamp or something. So half of it's divided. You can't get across. I don't know. The Marguerite doesn't appear right away. Like, you go up first, take the right into the next room, and she's in there with her little lamp walking around, and you gotta like hide behind the box and dip around for a while.
Yeah, you have to walk forward a bit, and then she comes out of the hallway at the end, and you got to dip back behind the box.
Yeah. And then when you get back there, there's a hole like in the ground that goes under the house.
Yep.
And you go down there, and she like immediately knows, like as you're going, she's like, "Oh, you're not gonna get out through there." And as you're like going forward, she just like shoves it closed behind, like in front of you. And I like how you turn around and like the light just kind of goes, flashes and goes out, and then she's just like right there in your face. Oh,
Yeah.
you're not gonna get away.
I
And
think you have
does
to
that
grab-
shit's like,
Sorry.
it does
Go ahead.
does like the classic horror thing where she like grabs your leg, and like you're just getting dragged away, and the camera's like panning back. Ah, help me, Ethan.
Yeah, there's
Stuff like that.
I think you have to grab a photo there. Again, don't remember what that photo is, but there's a photo in a box because I remember I walked back and forth there like 8 times. Like, is she gonna grab me now? Because I know she's gonna come grab me, but when, how? And there's a photo you have to pick up in a box over there. I think it's a photo of Evie and Mia again. They want you to keep seeing pictures of Evie
Oh yeah,
and not know who she is.
it's just them like standing next to each other, looking super depressed, like just like this with their hair down, but they're
Yeah.
just standing. Yeah, real like
Also,
glamour shots.
like I know at the very beginning she's like trying to talk to Ethan in the camera, but she really carries the camera through all this bullshit that she's running through. It's kind of interesting. Why?
It's a
Yeah,
head
it's
cam.
weird. Like, where does she keep finding the camera?
It's a GoPro.
I mean, it could be, but
She uses it to
Why don't you
document
find it?
herself taking care of the bioweapon.
also, like, how does she film herself then? Like, throw the VHS tape to wherever you are in the house.
Yeah. Who's carrying it
It's so-
around?
This game's supposed to be happening in 2017, right?
Yes, I
Yes.
believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Where are
that-
they
that she-
finding so many like recordable VHS tapes and
They live out
Hey,
in the
man, it's
boonies. They don't know
Louisiana.
what a DVD is.
Yeah.
I don't know what SD cards or micro SD cards are. Just pop it into your phone and record. I don't know. Anyway, so now you're back as Ethan in the billiard room. So this is where you can go in the scorpion room, which has it's got a bunch of collectibles. Probably
Got a
like
shotgun in it.
Bobble has. It's got the broken shotgun in it,
Yep.
but you can go down and not lock yourself into the room with the actual shotgun.
Which I love that shit.
Yeah, that's cool. I like
Yeah,
how
that's
you
pretty cool.
do that. Later you get to go back in there again. Do that, then you get to do the eagle shadow puzzle, which is fine. I didn't think it was any. I thought that one was easier than the spider one.
Yeah, I agree.
So this opens up the hallway that leads to like the trophy room, right? There's like a deer and
Yeah.
taxidermy things, a door you can't open because you need the crow key,
Yes.
which has a weapon that you can currently see, which at the time I thought was a rocket launcher. It's not a rocket launcher.
I didn't notice that door the first time I came through here, and it was just by happenstance that, like, later on as I was making my way out of the main house, that I
Yeah,
saw
there's
that door, and I was like,
back
oh, fuck, I need that.
Yeah, that could be something that I could use.
Yeah.
There's another room in there. I don't remember materials. I'm sure there's like pictures and
Yeah, there's
other
like a
things.
picture drawn by Mia. That's like I think just her and the bakers, like just her. Like it's like a mother, father, kid, and two kids. Like a picture of family.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And then this also leads you to the hallway with the save room, right? Stairs that go down.
Isn't that the
And
room previous, the one that has the first set of molded, though?
Yeah, the very first molded you fight is before you get to the save room in the basement.
Yeah.
There's one guy.
So,
that
like,
pops out
as
of
you
the
come
wall.
out of that trophy room, like the deers on the wall and all that jazz, you, like, go through another room and it has a pile of the nasty molded shit on the wall or whatever, and one of the molded pop out.
yeah.
Oh,
And that's, like,
I
your
call
first
them-
time encountering an enemy.
I call them muckmen.
Oh.
Obviously, I know they're molded because of the end now. But
Yeah, I believe
Yeah.
I believe they are called the molded, right? That is the term they use.
no,
in
yeah,
the game.
that's literally like written down. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I couldn't
the
at the
remember.
very end of the game. But
I
I called
guess-
them muckmen up until that point.
That's interesting. I never like thought about the fact that you don't know their name because I think I watched like a Game Informer video that was like, here's what the actual enemies in Resident Evil 7 looks like because the marketing of this game was all the bakers. There was no
Yep.
molded in it, and they had like they said the name molded in that. So I always knew their name before I played the game, but they really don't.
Yeah,
tell you.
I did not until I found like a note or something
At
that
the
was
very
talking
end.
about it. I think once you get on the ship,
It's past that. It's in the lab.
It's like in the mines, yeah, at the end of
is
the
it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
in the lab.
It's like the very last room you go in before shit explodes.
gotcha. Oh, yeah,
Um,
I know what you're talking about now.
And I think you in that other room you also find the one connected to that trophy game room. There's like a list of like people and their names, like of who survived like infections and who died.
Yep.
Yeah,
Pretty sure that's in
and
there.
I think the only people on there that aren't either dead or like turned is Clancy and Mia. So I guess at this point Clancy is still like going through the shit. Like Happy Birthday hasn't happened yet because he's not marked on there. Either that or they didn't have a chance to mark him down before Ethan showed
Oh,
up.
that could be.
Could be. Yeah.
Yeah. Good old Clancy still surviving.
Poor guy.
Way to go there, bud. So okay, then you get the moldy man, and then there's a safe house. Or not the safe house, safe room, the scorpion key, and the steps down. You don't have the scorpion key yet, right? That's you get that downstairs.
Correct.
So you go downstairs, and now this first room is just covered in black snot. everywhere.
Yeah, which this is the other shot I mentioned earlier. There were two shots that are really amazing, but that shot down in the basement from the top with the big shining light at the top, but then it's like really bleak on the sides, and when you enter, it's complete darkness, molded shit everywhere. I love that camera shot.
It's so gross. So you get down here, and there's a whole bunch of different things to explore. You can get into that, like the morgue. Is that what they call that one?
Yep.
So you go in there, and you have to open the last door and the one with the bloody handprint, which unlocks the first door, or little slidey cadaver thing, which makes the moldy man pop out in the back corner, scare the poop out of you.
Yep.
Kill that guy. Pretty sure there's a key in here. It's not. Is it the dissection room key?
Yes.
Because that's not the scorpion key.
Yeah,
No.
I think you get that.
Because I think you get that in the dissection room, right?
Yeah, I
The
think
scorpion key you get
After you fight Jack again?
No, it's before Jack.
No, you
It's
get the head for that.
It's like nearby
yeah.
you get the scorpion key, but in the morgue, I believe, is the dissection room key. I think.
Yeah, because it's on his smoldering, gross body.
Yeah. But yeah, in the room nearby, it's like stuck in a pile of guts, the scorpion key. And you need to get that and then get the fuck out of the basement and get your shotgun, because there's too many damn molded to deal with down there with the pistol.
Yeah, I did a lot.
I didn't do that.
You didn't do
I
that?
killed them all with a pistol, and that is fucking sucked.
I avoided a lot of them just to conserve ammo, because I know in most of the Resident Evil games I played, ammo is quite scarce. Although I know the Smack wrote in and talks about the adaptive gameplay. Like if you've got a lot of ammo, it doesn't give you ammo, and stuff like that.
Yeah, the
We'll
last
get to that later.
several 7 RE2 remake, RE3 remake have all had adaptive difficulty where the game will give you the supplies that you need. Like if you've got an overwhelming amount of ammo, it will give you very tiny amounts of ammo, which is why he also wrote in and said save your lockpicks for when you're stuck on a boss. Which, I mean, if you're watching this, these tips are not useful for you probably at this point, but because if you're stuck on a boss, it's because you don't have enough ammo or you don't have enough healing items or whatever. So the stuff that's locked will probably give you the stuff that you need to be able to finish that.
Probably. I didn't
Makes
have
sense.
much problem in ammo wise, though. Though
Yeah,
I
not
did
really.
run
That's
a lot.
fairly conservative, so.
Yeah. So now with the dissection key, you can make your way through, like, I think when you go in the boiler room, like, isn't Granny there on her wheelchair?
I think
I swear
that's
she's down in the basement somewhere.
I think that's the
It's
second
a-
time
it's
you
a
come.
blur to me.
I think that's the second time you come through the boiler room, because the first time you come through, there's like 3 or 4 enemies in there.
Oh,
and
there's
Granny's
the
never in a room
moldy
with
guys.
enemies.
Yeah. Gotcha. I remember that there was definitely those guys in there. There's the workshop, which is locked. You get to that later. There's just a bunch of rooms you can go in. So once you have the key, you can go into the dissection room.
Right. Did you guys go back with the scorpion? I know you didn't, Tyler, but did you go back with the scorpion key to get the broken shotgun and trade it for the M12?
Yeah, I
or
did
whatever
that.
it is? I know you did that later, but you said you went through the basement with just the pistol first, right? Did you get it
Yeah,
before
but
the boss?
then I went back up and got the shotgun after I cleared everybody out. Because I was like, this shit's fucking hard. I need a better gun.
Yeah, I didn't use the shotgun on the moldy guys down there because I was very particular with my shotgun ammo. Like that was something I wanted to make sure I had shots with. Definitely had it for the chainsaw fight. Yeah, because that made it like cake.
I think you kind of, I mean, you probably have to win that fight.
Yeah.
But
I
maybe
mean, you could probably do it with the pistol.
Yeah, I wonder if the game would just, with that adaptive difficulty, I wonder if it would only drop handgun ammo in that room, because there's a lot of boxes that have, like, shotgun ammo. in
Yeah.
there. But I don't know.
I had a lot of first aid in there, so I guess I didn't usually have a lot of first aid, but you can't ever have enough alcohol to pour on your wounds and magically heal. So you go up there, you can go in the one room, and it's got the police officer's body, like, up on the wall, like, hung up. I don't think he has anything on him. You say something when you interact with him, but I don't remember what. I think there's, like, ammo and, like, herbs and stuff behind you on the tables. You go out the door, take a right. There's steps that go down to nothing.
Right now.
And you see, dependent on how you have been finding your dog heads, there's one upstairs in a book.
One in the clock.
Yeah, one in the clock where you gotta grab the pendulum off the grandfather clock, run back to the first area, put it on there. Bam, there you go. Bob's your uncle. And then here's your third one. So you need this one to get out of the main foyer. So as you're grabbing it, Daddy appears and gives you a nice old boot down into this fun room of mayhem and body bags and a pillar. So this, when you talked about the leg, this is where I got killed. I didn't get killed. He cut my leg off, but he was right there, and I was like, okay, I'm dead. I was like laying there, and I'm like, oh, I can kind of move. And I can move, and I'm like, this is my legs right there. So they're crawling towards my leg, and as I was grabbing it, he finished me off, or I died, or bled out, or something. So I didn't know you could reattach it and like pour sauce on it, and it'd be fine.
Yeah, they're just pouring sauce on it. That's what they call
just
it.
pour some hot sauce.
So that's when you can lose it.
Well, that's where
one
I
of the
lost
times.
it.
You can also lose it when you're trying to go into the pantry. If he comes up behind you while the pantry is like opening at the beginning, he'll cut off your leg, and at that point he'll actually give you a first aid. He'll like taunt you and be like, bet you want this, and then give it to you and like walk away and let you reattach your leg, which I don't know why he does that, but he's a fucking whack job, so whatever.
I wonder if you can lose other appendages.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Anyway, how many attempts on the chainsaw fight? Yeah, did you find it hard? I know, Tyler, you...
I fucking struggled with it, man.
I remember you
wasn't-
writing...
yeah. I had to get like feedback from you guys on what the fuck I needed to do. And Chris was like, you need to block. Blocking is super important.
Oh, so this is the whole like blacked out stuff that I did not click on any of these spoiler tags, so I didn't know what you guys were talking
Yeah,
about.
so once you start blocking his attacks, and it's like, okay, this is
Which
fucking
Hot
easy.
take, I never blocked any of his attacks.
Yeah, I got told to block by Chris and Smack multiple times, so
Yeah.
I was blocking like mad.
That's
And I was playing on easy, so boss fights weren't super tough for me.
Yeah, I didn't block. I just ran behind the body bags and that pillar. Like, I just lived around that pillar and kicking bodies at him.
This was not the hardest boss by any stretch of the imagination, though.
No,
I did not struggle with him compared to the next boss.
Did you end up using blocking much at all, Tom? Because you played on normal, right?
I did not block at all.
Wow.
In all honesty, I think I forgot what the block button was because I had to remember what it was at the end when you're approaching Eevee.
Yeah.
Oh, it
I'm
was like
like,
a mainstay for me after that fight, because it's like I would just use a shotgun and block, stay right up in their face, and just unload rounds.
Oh, I just unloaded with him on the shotgun, and then I would just dance around the pillar, headshot, and then he opens the door, grabs his chain scissors, right? I don't know what the hell you'd call that thing. You grab the chainsaw, and basically, yeah, I would just keep running around that. Like I probably like 5-6 attempts, I think is what it took me. And sometimes he would break down the pillar, and then the very last time he didn't break down the pillar, and I killed him, and I was like,
Okay.
just like
I don't
knock
know.
him down, like blast him a couple times, and rub the chainsaw into his face cavity.
That's I like that fight a lot. I like using the chainsaw. I hate that they immediately find a dumb excuse for it to break. Like, oh, you
I
can't take
wrote
this
that
with
down.
you.
Like, you get this awesome weapon, and then you have to leave the room. You have to break it.
Which, by the way, the other end of the chainsaw when it breaks isn't even there. It's nowhere. It just disappears. But yeah, one of the.
Back in.
I'm surprised that you didn't have to block very much, Tom, because my first playthrough that I did on easy, like a long time ago, I didn't block at all either. But I don't know if I could have gotten through it on normal without blocking. That's one of the tips that the Smack wrote in as well, I should mention.
One of the
Blocking
things
is
I really like
essential.
about this fight, though, is when you switch from just running around from him to chasing him with the chainsaw. And because I believe he can attack you, and you like attack each other and do like a clash.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, if you don't attack him from like the side or the back, he'll automatically
Yeah,
just block you.
and I like that animation a lot. And then I like when he goes down and like that bubbly goo pops up, and like that's what you have to really attack to like
Yeah.
take him out. That was because it's like again subverting my expectation of what the fuck this game is and what I'm actually fighting here. Because it's like, okay, I thought this dude was fucking dead, but here he is, and I'm fighting him again.
Yeah. And then he
And again.
explodes, and he's still not dead because you see, as
Yeah.
you find out later, they're only really dead after they calcify.
Yeah.
Which I still don't understand what determines that, but that's okay.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's fine.
Undisclosed.
I mean, I know what determines it in that last fight because
Yeah.
Yep.
so, yeah, I enjoy the little weird mechanics they have for the boss fights up until now. I think the next boss fight, it's not really a mechanic so much as just run around, find where they're at. But we'll get to Grossi when we get there. So having their third head, we now run to the front door. I believe before you get there, there's another call from Mia telling you that she'll meet you in the trailer outside. That also could have happened before. the boss
Zoe?
fight.
Zoe or Mia?
Yeah, Zoe.
I think it's
Mia
after the
doesn't
boss
call
fight. Yeah, right before you're
Yeah.
about to go outside.
So yeah, you're gonna go outside, and she calls you. I'll meet you in the trailer, which you find out is like 20 feet in front of you.
Yeah.
And she's not
when you
there.
get up- yeah, and she's not
Surprise.
there. Surprise!
Spoiler.
Spoiler. Well, if they're listening to this and we're watching it, I think they might have made it to.
No, I'm spoiling you getting to that part.
Oh, okay. There's a lot of stuff like there's like antique coins around here. You can move like a piece of sheet metal to get a repair kit. Because I think at some point you find a busted handgun. Oh, it's in the trailer. You find the busted handgun, right? Then you
Yeah,
can fix
the
it.
G17.
Yeah.
That one.
You can also go trade the shotgun that you got earlier for the broken shotgun and use the repair kit on that, and you get that really, really good shotgun really early in the game.
Oh, yeah. Otherwise,
I did not know that until just now, so I wish I would have fucking known that back then.
I did it later in the game when you get another repair kit,
Yeah.
but
I
Yeah.
didn't. Fuck.
it's okay. I didn't use it at all towards the end, anyway. So
Really,
didn't
I
use
love
the
that
shotgun at all.
shotgun. That's,
Oh, I didn't
the
even use the
shotgun's
shotgun.
amazing.
I was rolling heavies.
What does that mean?
Yeah,
The
what were
big-
you rolling?
The big guns.
Rolling fatties over there.
Heavies. I
Oh,
said heavies. So getting into the trailer, this is your first you're like, what the fuck are these antique coins for? Finally, you get these lovely bird cages that each cost a certain amount. So there's the steroids.
yep.
Is that what they are? That boost your maximum health.
Yep.
And there's a handgun,
44 mag, right?
Magnum.
Yep.
which I didn't get the entire game,
Oh, it's super good.
and something else. Nothing like super fantastic.
Stabilizer or
nothing.
something it's called. It increases your reload speed.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I got the stabilizer and I got the Magnum.
Oh, also, I forgot to bring this up earlier, but I remember it now because you find a bra in the trailer. But I forgot to mention the stinky socks in the first in that safe room, where you interact with them and they say, "Pew, they stink."
Yep.
It
Wow.
was really needed. Or in the trailer here, where you get to grab the bra and you can spin it around.
It's good world building.
I mean, now we're intertwining with the wrong games. Now we're back at Infamous Second Son. Does this need to be in here?
Yeah. What did everybody end up buying with their coins? I think there are enough coins to buy everything. I think there's one extra coin even actually. I think there's 16. You only need 15, right? Is that right?
I did not get any of the weapons in any of them.
Yeah, I didn't get the
I got,
Magnum.
Yeah,
I
you
got,
get the Magnum.
I got all the injecting things.
Oh, I got the Magnum.
Yeah, the Magnum's incredibly powerful, like it is in every Resident Evil. It's the best weapon in the game, other than like a rocket launcher that you get at the end, or the Albert 01 in this case. But it's just not is not essential in this one. I don't think it's ever really essential, but I feel less than any other Resident Evil. It's like you really don't need the Magnum. The shotgun takes down every enemy you find, other than the fat guys who are very rare. Like the shotgun will one-shot everything.
Yep.
Yeah, I think you fight 4 or 5 of the fatties. I think that's all it is. It's only I think it's only like 4. maybe 5. There might be 2 on the boat. I don't remember.
Just a lot in the salt mine.
There's the double ones I ran from them. We'll get there.
Oh.
So yeah, this is you get the antique coins. There's a VCR in here, but you don't have a tape currently. That's a tape that you get later, where you use that one. I don't think there's anything to use in this one. Zoe calls, and what does she say? You have to get the serum for them to be able to leave, but she doesn't know what it is. So you're supposed to go to Marguerite's little villa to figure out what it is that you need, but that's the only way they can escape, is they have to purge it from their body to be able to leave the estate, I think is what she tells you. So we exit the trailer, spin around, open up that gate, and you're back where the VHS tape was, which is another thing I like about these VHS tapes, is they give you kind of an idea of the next area you're kind of going in.
Yeah.
Like this one and Happy Birthday, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Those are really the other 2.
Yeah, Happy Birthday is essential to
Yep.
watch.
Yeah. If you don't can you even progress if you don't watch it?
Yeah, I'm sure you just have to do the exact same thing you do in Happy Birthday and just keep doing it over and over until you get it right.
Die. Yeah. So you get to cross the lovely porch of hanging dolls. This time when you open the door, though, there is a bunch of giant weird flies. And I did not waste ammo on. I knifed every one of these motherfuckers.
I have a really fun note for this section. Is like, I like it when you get attacked by these bugs and stuff, especially like when you go up to the cages with the spiders on them and they get on you, because when you look at your arm, it actually shows bug bites all over your arms and stuff. And I feel like
really?
it's such an incredible little touch.
That's cool. I didn't know that because I never got close to one of those damn things.
Oh, I got fucked up a lot in this area. This is my least favorite part of the game.
So in this area, like if you go straight ahead into that door, like there's pulsating gross sacks in either room you go to full of bugs. So I didn't destroy any of these till I got the burner, because I thought you could only destroy them with fire. And I remember seeing the burner frame.
Mhm.
So I'm like, okay, I can probably build that here. I'm not going to get so I didn't shoot any of these bug sacks or gross things. So I just took one for the team, going in that one. And it says something, don't go upstairs, or she's upstairs, or something like that is written on the wall.
Yeah.
So I just dipped, like I crouched and just ran through the one, going straight, and made it back. I don't know if you make it out to the burner immediately. You can get the burner frame right away, which is back where you were initially. I don't remember if you can get there.
Yeah, this area is very foggy to me. It's like a very small, cramped area that you get through pretty quickly, but there's several puzzles and stuff within it, like getting the crank from where you were as Mia, where you got caught by Marguerite. And then I think do you have to get the crank before you can get the second piece of the burner?
Correct. Yeah. Use it to raise the bridge and cross over.
Yeah, so you can get the first part because that's out where you were hiding, and you can. I think that's later though, because you go through that fireplace that goes downstairs, and then that's where the fence door is, and you find Mia, and she's on the other side, and she tells you she can't remember everything, but she wants to tell you, but she just doesn't know what it is. Like it's coming in weird patches, and Lucas shows up and grabs her. He tells you to stop standing there and do something as he pulls her away. So you head back upstairs, and that's where Marguerite first comes in, and she like turns this door into spiders, like just covers it with spiders right away, and like kind of pushes you back, closes the door, spiders cover the door.
Yep.
And then she's like patrolling around the house. So I think this is probably when you go up, you can get outside to get that other one, because you do more of the little cat and mouse running around, and you got to get out there and do the spider burn thing, because I think that is down where you find Mia, the little piece that you need, because that's no longer up on the platform, I think. I can't
Okay.
remember.
This area is confusing.
Yeah, we're
It
getting
is.
lost in semantics. There's a lot of puzzles
So
here.
either way, you can get out there.
You're basically
right,
replaying the part that you did with Mia all over again until you find the crank.
but this time you can find a backpack.
Yeah,
in that
it's a
safe
save room.
tank. That's the first time you get a backpack. Then when you do the spider one, you go through there. There's freaking like hundreds of centipedes that start crawling all over the walls and like onto you, and you're like, oh god, help me.
Pretty gross.
Uh,
This whole place is unpleasant. Bugs are unpleasant.
It is disgusting.
Yeah, Marguerite is unpleasant. She sucks.
Yeah, that's not. It's no bueno. So you're on the other side after doing the shadow puzzle. You can go down to where Mia got caught, and I think there's just like a bunch of like collectible, like there's some ammo and crap down there. Nothing like super fantastic. The crank's down there. That's where you find the crank.
Yes.
Is under the house. So then you can go up and raise the platform so it's a quick, your shortcut basically to the other side of the house. Then you can run over there, go to the other side, which is where you kill a bunch more bugs. You raise up the one crank, and it's got that ornate box that has the crow key in it, because you need the crow key to get up to Marguerite's little altar area. She's got like that note on top of it. I said, "Stop playing with my altar. I hate you. Somebody's playing with my stuff."
I thought you needed the her lantern to get into that door.
That's up higher.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Proceed.
So if you go to that door, you can't do it. You can read that note. You go back onto those docks. You can get the key, and that's where you get the burner nozzle. Is in the other place on that little dock area.
Okay.
So now I'm equipped, and I go into that house, and I burn the living piss out of everything. Because I didn't open any of the wardrobes or cages with the spiders on them. I'm burning everything now. So anytime I had the solid fuel and the strong chemical or whatever, I was just making burner. Like, I lived on the burner for a long time. You go back over to the crow door and try and open the crow door, but Marguerite's there, pushes you back off the steps, and you crash through the planks on the floor, and it's like you're falling in quicksand, like the way you're like slowly like, oh god, but like it didn't collapse, like just boom. Magically, there's a freaking hole there, like it used to be a well or something. I don't know. So then you gotta fight. She's like summoning these flies that are flying at you. You're just I'm burning the living piss out of her face with the flamethrower. Eventually she loses balance, falls into the well, and this is super gross because you climb out and look down, and it's just like a pond of like bugs, like lifting up. It's like super gross. Ah. You get up into the room after knocking her down. You open the crow room, and she's got her little, it's that weird box, I think, that tells you like how to make the serum. Like, you need an arm and you need a head.
Yeah, that was like we'll get more into the arm and the leg thing, or the arm and the head thing, but it just doesn't make sense. Like, what the fuck is that shit?
Yeah, it's weird. Like, why do you need these pieces, and why does the head not look like it's not just the head, it's an entire body? But whatever. Zoe calls you, and she's like, "Oh, did you find what we need?" And she's like, "No, I just dealt with your mother." And she's like, "Haha, sorry about that." And you're like, "No, I found this thing, and it tells me to make the serum. I need an arm and a head." And she's like, "Oh, a head? I think I have one of those around here."
Yeah, I have the head.
Clearly something that you would just have hanging out in your room is a head. So this is when you go upstairs. It's like a little half and half. There's a room that's got like a doll in it, and this is where the journal is of Marguerite when she's talking about going to the doctor, getting her x-rays, and Evie giving her the gift. Not really anything else in there at this point. Then you go back out, and this is where the scale is that you need the other lantern. And you're like, Marguerite's walking around with that goddamn lantern the entire time. So I'm like, okay, I gotta go get that. Go back down, look in that well area. You see the lantern sitting there, and there's freaking like 12-foot long arm just like reaches out and grabs it.
Yeah.
Gross.
Pulls it
Very
into the
creepy, I
hole.
love it.
And you like jump down there, and you can like see her like scurrying down the little
This shit made no
catapult.
sense because, like, when I saw her at that part, I was like, "What the fuck am I looking at here? What is going on?" I didn't realize that it was actually her.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So as you go down and you see her do this, Ethan says, "What the fuck? That's special." Like that's the voiced line that comes out of his mouth.
Yeah. Oh, that's so
It's
special.
like,
What?
oh,
This guy's got some bad lines.
good. This is going to be a good fight. Giant spiders are always fun in games, right?
Yeah.
So we go out through here, up the ladder, and there's her greenhouse, right? I think it's supposed to be a greenhouse. You can go up there. There's a bunch of collectibles. Drop down a hole, and you can hear like the little spidery noises on the other side of a door. There's just a bunch more collectibles. It all literally is just spiders on a door. You can burn them off. I think there's a cabinet you can burn off to get more ammo. As you go back up, after falling down up the stairs, she just busts through this window and like just grabs onto you. I was like, ah! I'm gonna eat your brains.
That was the biggest jump scare I had in this game.
When she jumps through that window.
Yeah, because I was playing, it was like, I don't know, 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. Just laying in bed with my wife. Lights were off. We were just laying down, and she was watching me play, and that part happened, and I thought I was going to fall out of my fucking bed. It's like,
Yeah.
was not expecting it. Because I was just walking through the place. I was like, okay, I'm going to get to the next area. And then that bitch popped out. Fuck her. She sucks.
That's a good time to bring up. Smack has a question, asks, what's the scariest part of the game for you? Obviously, that was yours, Tyler. I think the fight immediately after that, like not the jump scare itself, but just the fight of her like hiding and then hunting you down and laying bug nests everywhere. That's just the most stressful, horrifying thing for me.
Ryan doesn't even have to think because he just has the whole game in mind.
Honestly, I think it's that opening bit, that first fight with Mia, like that was so deeply unsettling. Because the rest of everything, it's like they're these creepy ass monsters, and like it's gross and disgusting and scary, but Mia still feels very human in that fight, but augmented, Yeah, it's
Yeah, I feel like that, especially with the Marguerite fight, this is where I really disconnected from the horror aspect of it. Like, once that jump scare was over with and I saw her, like, come through the wall completely, because, like I said, up to this point, I didn't realize that spider-looking thing was her.
Yeah.
So when I saw that, oh, this is her, I was like, oh, okay, this is just a fucking monster game at this point, So then I was like, I completely disconnected. And that's why I thought the guest house section was definitely the scariest part of the game, but that moment for me with her busting through that window is the scariest moment of all.
I don't really equate any of it to me being scared, but the most, like, being a big horror fan, the part that I enjoyed the most was probably that stairwell with Mia coming up. Like, that was probably legitimate, like, horror movie. Like, that could be that's literally in like movies, like that makes sense. But yeah, the rest is a little more outlandish, where it's like you can disconnect, or some of us can disconnect. That is not like, it's a monster. Like,
Yep.
just equate it to a monster game at this point.
Guys,
Also,
monsters are scary too.
Yeah, well, they are when they have giant pulsating pus-filled sacks growing out of their nether regions. So
Yeah, as I was telling my wife, I'm going to shoot this lady in her bug vagina.
Yeah,
That's all she has. She has a
Weird
giant
design.
bug vagina. It's gross.
Yeah, I feel like the last half of this game is much more scary in the way like a Bloodborne is scary. It's just like aesthetically weird.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like that whole first part, which I know Dory has something like, what did you think about the beginning hour? Which the beginning hour is literally probably the best horror this game has to offer.
Yep.
Like, as far as a horror movie would be concerned. This is more, the rest of it's more like kind of grossing you out and like, let's see what kind of weird, disgusting things we can do. It's more that shock and awe factor than scary.
The opening hour, especially like going the guest house, right? Let's just say it's the entire guest house, is unnerving, right? Because you don't know what to expect. And then like the second that you fight Mia You kind of have somewhat of an idea of like where this game is going, and then like the second you wake up and you see the bakers and Lucas gets his arm cut off, it's like, okay, this game has immediately went from like unnerving to this shit went to outrageous,
Yeah.
right? And I think it's that switch from one to the other that makes the rest of it more of just an action game in my mind, you know?
Sure.
Yeah, that first hour for sure is most like a horror movie. It has a very deliberate like build up to something very scary happening, and then it kind of like slows back down for the I don't know if you would call it the actual beginning of the game where you're in the baker's house, and then it becomes more gamey. And especially once you fight the first molded, it's like, okay, there are normal enemies in this game, and these are the things I'm going to be facing regularly, and it becomes much
so
more
I basically
of a game.
I think of like the entire part until Welcome to the Family, like the prologue, like that is your opening up, and then like Welcome to the Family, that's the beginning of the game. It kind of sucks because I think the strongest part is that prologue area. Like the rest of it's a lot of fun, but I think they really hit it with that first section.
I think they end up rounding back up on that though, especially once you get to the boat. I feel like they hit a lot of those notes again when you're playing as someone and you're going through that section and kind of reliving.
You can say her name.
I don't want to. We'll get to it when you play it.
Like...
If you are this far in the video and you haven't finished the game, what the hell are you doing?
Well, when you're playing as me and you're going through that boat section and reliving like that aspect of like how the infection started and all that, and what Evelyn has caused, and then going through that, especially the opening part of the boat where you have no weapons, right? Like you're fumbling around with nothing. I feel like they really hit that part again because when it started, that was another part where I was like unnerved because like, okay, you subverted my expectations. I don't know what the fuck is going to happen now.
Yeah.
So
just to be on the completely other side of the spectrum, I think those are the scariest parts of the game, that early part of the game, and that part of the game is Mia where you don't have weapons. I also think they are the least fun, but like I said earlier, I hate games like Amnesia and Outlast, the run and hide horror. I want to be able to shoot the things that are scaring me. Like, I think if you're really good at making a horror game, you can make things scary and still let you fight them. Like, we're not talking about the Evil Within here, but the other day you fought that spider lady, Tyler, and she was still very scary, even though you were able to fight back against her.
Yeah. There's definitely playing that after playing this, you can see the parallels to like older Resident Evil games. And I mean, you hit it on the head. You can absolutely make an enemy terrifying and still have the firepower to take them out, and still feel powerful, but still feel, I don't know, afraid for your character's life, I guess.
Sure. Yeah. Making your character like unable to fight back, I think, is the easiest way to make something scary, but it's also the least fun for me.
Yeah.
Or permadeath.
I don't know. I like roguelikes and stuff. So,
so speaking of spider ladies, yes, back to pulsating crotch lady.
It's called a bug vagina, Tom.
Bug vagina. Right? Bug vagina. I one-shotted this boss. It's basically just running around shooting her in the crotch, really. I think she lays like nests if you leave her alone long enough that like bugs. I think she did it once, and that was really the extent.
Yeah, she births little gross mosquito guys, and it's nasty.
Oh, I'm glad I only had to do that once. But yeah, for the most part, it was just shoot her a couple times. She like runs into the fireplace, appears somewhere else, go find her, shoot her in the crotch much more, chase her around. I enjoyed the one part. I think at one point you're underneath her on a level, and she like reaches down again and like picks you up and is like kind of dangling you there.
And you gotta like shoot her in the face so she'll drop you.
Yeah. But overall, I mean, I didn't have a big problem with this boss fight. It was a good boss fight. I enjoyed it.
I don't know. I thought it was a little frustrating for me, but that's probably because I'm bad. It only took 2 attempts, but I don't know. I had trouble finding her from the audio cues, and maybe that's because I wasn't playing with headphones at this part. Which is a bad boy to play a horror game without headphones. But I think headphones probably would have helped to pinpoint exact position. It's harder to do with the soundbar or speakers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that certainly helped me. I'm gonna go with the fact that again I was playing on easy, so all the bosses went down pretty straightforward for me. I didn't
I
have
think
a lot
this
of
took
difficulty.
me 3 tries. And my issue was I didn't know if there was like a gimmick or something I had to do, because like with the cars one and then like with the
Yeah.
chainsaw fight, I was like looking around at everything. I was like, do I need to fucking find something? And then I would just unload shots into her or whatever, and I felt like I wasn't doing enough damage. And by that point, there was spawning mosquitoes and shit all over the place. So
Yeah, she takes
my
a
own
lot of
ignorance of not knowing what to do.
So yeah, it's really just that garage jack fight that's got like the gimmick for the most part.
the garage, but then
You
also
have to do things
yeah,
in a
well,
certain
both jack
manner,
fights
because
though, because the one
the
in the
chainsaw
dissection room
one-
you got to do the chainsaw stuff too.
Yeah,
but it's a little more straightforward than the car one. Like you don't have to run around, find a key, open like the
yeah, but you
chainsaw
still
you
have to
grab
pick up
it.
like a specific item to
Oh,
take
yeah.
him out. You know what I mean? So it's like one of those things. It's like, is there
And then
something
from
I
here
have
on
to
out,
pick up?
it's pretty much just
Yeah,
straightforward boss
you're
fights.
shooting shit. Yep.
Yeah, it just becomes more actiony after this one.
Mhm.
So after defeating Bug Vagina,
Thank you.
you get her lantern. Oh, she also calcifies and just fades away, right?
Yeah,
She
this is the
turns-
first boss
she,
that
like,
you see do that.
Got Thanos snapped out of existence.
Yeah.
Accurate.
So with the lantern, you now go back up to the old house into the top part. As you're headed up there, you can hear like the piano keys kind of doing a little dance, and as you get closer, they just like it's a sudden ding, and they stop, and you can look in there. There's nobody there. You put the scale on, open up that door, and this is like I don't know why anyone would want to live in this part of the house. So this part, I enjoyed this little like I don't know what 10-minute section as you're like walking through this, and like there's a ball that comes flying out, bounces and rolls. There's you pick up that super gross teddy bear. Like the teddy bear is normal, and as you're like holding it, like it just starts oozing, like in its face, like that black crap.
I don't think I found that.
You didn't find the teddy? Oh, like
No,
literally.
is that in the
turn
little
right.
girl's room?
Yeah, so you like turn right, and in
didn't
that
see that.
first room, there's a teddy bear on like a rocking chair, and it's like rocking, and
I
you
did
can go
not
and
see
pick it up to like interact with it and spin it around, and like its eyes start to like the black like mucus starts coming out, and the whole
Oh,
thing
gross.
starts soaking from the outside or inside out. Yeah, it's
Yeah, I
super
think I
gross.
missed that. Yeah, that's gross.
And you can put it back on the chair, and it's all super gross now.
Fun times.
You can when you go into the next room, then like those little baby dolls are falling from the ceiling.
Yeah, I do remember that.
As you go further, you take like a left, and that's when all the lights go out, and you hear Evie's voice. I think she tells you to like stop, or don't go any further, or don't go in there. And you go farther, you go through that room, and there's the that's when you enter like the very. Have you seen the Silent Hill movie?
No.
No.
Well, never mind. As you walk into it, it's her bed in the middle of the room, which is very much like the end of the Silent Hill movie. Like the little girl is in a hospital bed in the middle of the room. Like that's like all that's there. But whatever. You go around. There's that little the model house that tells you like there's a secret passage. Like squat down, open up the little passage, and this disgusting part where you rip that freaking like decaying child's arm out, and it just like starts oozing that like mustard goo out of their elbow hole, I guess.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
it's gross. It's no good.
that was super fun, right? I mean,
I believe there is a note, and you can find out about that child, unless I'm thinking of a different game.
oh, I don't remember. I didn't see anything for him.
But that was like a neighborhood kid or something like that, and she locked him in there.
Oh, I thought that's late. I thought that was Lucas later.
Yeah, that's Lucas that locks somebody up. You find that in
Okay.
his room, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember anything about this weird poor child that So who jammed this? Like, is this her arm? Because if you look at it, it looks like it's not her arm, and somebody jammed that arm because it doesn't match like the rest of her body.
It could be.
Like, we're just gonna stick this arm in here because it's gonna be super cool. Watch
Yeah, I
this.
guess. Because the D series arm, I mean,
Yeah,
it's,
and literally, it's
yeah,
labeled like it
it's
says
weird.
D series arm on it. It's like,
again,
okay.
the whole D series arm head thing is very dumb, but
Yeah.
they need
So,
MacGuffins.
you, like,
But the D series is part of the like experiments, right? It was like
that's the one before E.
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
for some
So-
reason you need those to make the E series vaccine.
Yeah. Who knows? It's video game magic.
Yeah.
You turn around and you can see two little legs, like part of a skirt, just standing there.
So
And you,
real quick, with us, we talked about our scariest moments. The first time I played this game, this was the scariest moment for me because it went into like ghost baby shit, and I hate that crap. I despise that bullshit.
I hate these fucking ghost babies.
damn ghost babies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I
mean,
probably turned off the game and then came back to it later.
had to take a break to cool down.
Yeah, I turned on all the
Decompress a
lights
little.
real quick. Called all my
So-
closest friends to sit around me while I played.
Saying kumbaya just to, cleanse the palate. So a little girl runs away as you approach her tiny little legs. And then you get the moldy men start appearing. In the hallway, there's like 3 or 4 of them, I think, and they just kind of, about 3, 4, 5, they just pop up as you're running through. Back in your way out, you have the crow key now, you get the arm. As you get back to where Marguerite had her altar, I believe the phone rings. It's Zoe again, and she asks if you found it. You tell her, or you say you found it, and she tells you to meet her in the trailer. Well, she will be waiting, which she will not be waiting, because when is she ever waiting where we want to see her?
Never.
So you escape the house, go back out to the trailer, which is now, there was that shortcut you could have opened up through the greenhouse that goes right to the trailer, so it loops all the way around now. Go in the trailer, obviously she's not there. The phone rings, and you just like immediately launch in to like start talking to Zoe, and Lucas picks up. He's like, I had to put Zoe in a timeout, but I have Mia and Zoe. And if you want the head, you can come and get it anytime. But he's prepared a little activity that you have to participate in. He tells you to peek in the fridge. You open the fridge, and the police officer's head's in there. Though somehow it is kind of started to connect itself again. Like, it's got a weird, like, jaw kind of looking thing. I don't know what's going on with the head.
Yeah, it's got like a weird piece of molded coming out of it. Like
Yeah.
a molded set is starting to form.
Like they started playing with his dead body.
It's
I don't know.
gross.
Yeah, it's kind of gross. So, you get that, and now you have the crow key, so you go back, or I went back, opened up the crow door, got the grenade launcher,
Mhm.
which I never used the neurotoxin grenades, the blue ones.
I got like one, and I used it at the very end because why not? But yeah,
What does it do?
I think it's supposed to be like acid rounds in other Resident Evil games. Very effective
Oh.
against like infected without having to like aim for anything. Really, it's just stronger as far as I can tell. But
I kind of wish I would have used those. I only ever used the flame ones, or the normal explodies. But yeah, well, it's a good weapon. I enjoyed it. I saved most of my ammo. I don't think I used the grenade launcher till the very last boss fight. I conserved that ammo very
I
hard.
used it.
I used it in the Jack boss fight, the last Jack boss fight, and then also in the
Oh,
the very
yeah,
last boss
I did
fight.
use it in that too. Okay. So back into the house you go, because you have to collect the key cards, red and blue, right, for the party town.
Yep.
Like,
Happy
this is
fun
party
day.
zone.
So you go downstairs. You got to go back to the dissection room, which leads to another fun part where you get to jam your hand into police body through head stump hole.
Ethan has zero hesitation and zero things to say about doing that. Like, what the
Did
hell
he
is
really?
wrong
He
with you?
put his hand that got cut off into that one.
He did. Like, so there's like the open stapled like wound, and he's just like, yeah, let's dig it in there, and I'm gonna pull out the snake key.
He's dirty.
Yeah.
He's a dirty boy.
So with the snake key now in hand, I did Granny's room first, which in there you find. So that's on the second level of the foyer. It has a picture of Jack in it in the Marines. A schematic for the grenade launcher, which I picked up before going to that room. So it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Some other stuff. And the puzzle for this is you look at the clock and you can interact with it. Meanwhile, Granny's just in there like.
Yeah, Granny's hanging out in there.
This is when you were downstairs going to the dissection room. That's when she was down in the boiler room. So I remember thinking, how the hell did she get up 3 flights of stairs to meet me back in her bedroom?
Yeah.
It made
Real
sense,
quick,
man. She can
we should bring
cruise on
in-
that wheelchair.
We should bring up that the Smack wrote in about Spooky Grandma, saying that she appears in the most random places, and apparently, this I never saw, but there's a crawl space that you go into one time, and if you turn around while you're in there, you can just see her face. She's just like laying down in the crawl space. I'm glad I never saw that. That sounds horrifying.
Yeah, fuck that. That sounds terrible.
Yeah, Jesus.
I remember a couple times turning around and shit, like, oh, fuck, this old lady's here. It's like, get out of here.
But yeah, the clock that you have to change in her room. That was super easy. Like you literally just go outside and look across the hallway, and you just change the time.
Yeah.
I looked it up online because I didn't want to go and look for it.
Literally, you go out of her room and directly across the hall. There's
I
like
did not
clock
care.
on
I
the
did
wall.
not want to look it up. I did not. I was like, fuck this. I'm just gonna. I know somehow, some way, this will take me way too long. I'm just going to look this up.
They're gonna throw 7 molded at me while I'm trying to look at a fucking clock.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It was like, nah.
All right.
'Cause I thought it was like a secret area or whatever. And I was like, fuck it. I'm not trying to like 100% this game and look for every fucking clue.
Now it's the way you gotta go.
So then I felt bad afterwards. I was like, fuck, this is like a story thing. Damn it.
Which, by the way, I did that clock puzzle before going into like the side room that has a bunch of materials. I think there's a backpack in there too. I think that's where you get the second backpack, maybe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I did the clock puzzle and went under the bed before, and it like locks the bed behind you to lock you down.
Yeah, I hated that. I hate that it. As soon as you go down there, the bed goes back over and it doesn't stay open.
Yeah, so I had to go all the way back around to get to the backpack room again.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy that because when you get to the bottom, it's like more of the freaking cow leg extravaganza.
Yeah, creepy
Mush
shit.
all over the place, and then you find that card, and then I opened that door and I knew where the door was, and I'm like, I don't want to go back through this hallway, so I went back up those steps, and I'm like, fucking goddamn bed is back, and I'm like, there's got to be like a release, like right, and I'm like looking around, like, no release, you got to go run through there. There's something about being in that lower hallway I just didn't enjoy very much. But after getting that one, I think that's like the red one. So then you go up into the main hall, which are in the foyer again, back up to the other side, going towards like the billiards room. But now it's all covered in the black snot, like all over. I didn't explore any of the other areas because I've already done this part, so I just went straight to the snake room.
Yeah.
Which is Lucas's room, which he has that journal of how there was the boy that was teasing him or something like that. So, he like locked him up in the attic, and then he talks about like how his juices were dripping through the ceiling, and that somebody's gonna find him.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah.
And I think this is before Lucas ever like this is before Evelyn and shit. I think Lucas is a fucked up kid to begin with.
Yeah. I think this is when he was like little kid.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to find the trophy with the button on it. So you're like, there's like clues like, I hid it behind the trophy, so Zoe will never find it. And then you find another note later. I had to put it in a trophy that lights the way or something like that. So it's basically just in that lamp. You hit the button, ladder drops. You go up there. You find the wooden shotgun, which you can use in the shotgun room to get the shotgun out.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure. And then there's a hatchet that you can use to do like a non-mandatory like shadow game. I think it spells out like help or something like that. I think it's like the L or something.
No, it's a 7. It's just like a.
Oh, it's
There's a sequence of numbers on the wall, and the 7 is faded
Okay.
out, and you turn into a 7. And it gives you
Yeah.
a stabilizer that's outside by the trailer.
Yeah, which who fucking cares? Stabilizer. I mean,
It's not
I
a big
guess
deal.
that's your life, right? Isn't it? Or is that the reload?
I think it's the reload one.
I didn't notice like a great enhanced reload speed with any of these.
Yeah, the shotgun still reloads very slowly. I guess I noticed it with my handgun because I was using the Albert that only has 3 bullets and reloads a lot, but didn't notice
Oh,
it like too much.
I figured everything seemed like a normal reload time, that like I wasn't having super problems reloading the gun, but I mean I could see where it would be helpful. So up here we have another shadow puzzle, right? This is the like executioner.
Yeah.
The guy holding the axe. This is the one that probably took me longer just because it was a little weird, like stranger lining them up. And getting this one doesn't open a passage, it opens the box or that house. There's like a model house that has a key in, right? It just opens up the front of the house.
Yeah, there's also a note up in the attic that is from Trevor and Chamberlain Construction about all the like light puzzles that they had installed and the weird motif doors and stuff, all the weird crap they have in there.
Yeah.
Like they commissioned that shit from Trevor and Chamberlain Construction, which people have surmised is George Trevor's company, which George Trevor's the person that designed like the Spencer Mansion, the Ashford Antarctica
Oh, weird.
base, and the boats from Resident Evil Revelations.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Neat. Oh. So now you have all of the cards. I think as you are leaving the foyer, does this phone ring as you're leaving? Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, just in case you don't remember where the party is," like he literally tells you, like, it's right next to the trailer, little glowy flashy lights. Come have some fun. Get this head that you need to make serum. I know when we went up into Lucas's like attic, I expected there to be the skeleton of the boy that he trapped up there, but there isn't.
Yeah. I guess
I
that's
thought that would
just
be-
such a long time ago that I don't know. The parents
kid
probably already
didn't-
found it and hid it or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Now I'm not clear on when you get the happy birthday tape.
Yeah, I think that was in the attic as well.
Is it? Yeah, it's in the attic. Yeah, I think it's on one of the tables. So then you go down. I went down to the trailer, did the happy birthday stuff. I enjoyed this little puzzle that it puts you in. So you start off as Clancy getting dragged into that room. Close the door. And basically, you know, you got to go through all of these crazy puzzles. Basically, get the candle on the cake. You can't get it there because there's water that sprays you when you go through the doorway. So you got to get a telescope from the gross toilet. Then you clean the telescope off by walking through the water with it on your eye. Then you go look at the TV. with the
Very good.
telescope.
That's a very good little thing that they make you do.
Yeah. Yeah, I really enjoyed this whole puzzle like sequence of how you have to do the thing.
That's great. I love it.
So you look at the TV through the telescope. The telescope gives you the code for inside. You use that. That gives you. What does that give you? Is it the finger? No, it doesn't give you the finger thing. The doll. I think
Yeah,
it gives you the
yeah,
doll.
it gives you the voodoo doll.
So the voodoo doll you burn on that gives you the finger. Literally. You can light the candle up on the stove and then run and break all the balloons, which gives you a bigger balloon that's got like nails in it. You put that on the gas pipe, it explodes, shoots that nail into your hand. How the hell did he hide that pen in that balloon?
I
Like,
don't know.
that pen like that shoots you like right in the gut.
It's a big balloon, man.
Yeah, I guess.
Also,
It's
like
got nails in it
it
too.
seems very like first of all when you pick that up, yeah, it would be very obvious. It would be very heavy. You could tell there's
Yes.
something bad in there, and
It's
then it's like
something-
spiky while it's blowing up. Move away from that, dude. Don't fucking
Yeah.
stand there.
I'm just gonna stand
I'll-
right in
like-
front of it.
Especially with all the DLC, like you've seen all the fucking nutty shit he's gone through. He knows his family's nuts. You should see this crap coming.
Yeah.
But anyways,
What's crazy too is like he gets stabbed in the stomach with that pen. He just like pulls it out like no big deal. It's like,
yeah.
what the fuck? You just got stabbed in the stomach. React in some way.
You take it over to the creepy clown. So you give him the finger. Oh, you got to get the wind-up key out of the barrel too, which starts leaking liquids. Give all that to the clown, grabs your arm, like super crazy like, and just starts carving loser into your arm. Like this freaking clown has got like the best robotics known to man, apparently. Which loser is the code for the key or the lock in the balloon room that lets you in the back to get the crank for the water, so then you can turn the water off, grab the candle, light it, put it in the birthday cake sings you a song, explodes, shoots you back. All the juices from the barrel that you pulled the wind-up key out of starts you on fire, and you just stay there and burn. You can grab the like water valve, but it just busts off. Poor Clancy burns alive.
Clancy's no more.
The first time I played this, I was certain that clown was gonna get up and like chase me with a knife or something, and I was so ready to be so pissed about that shit.
It's funny,
So
right?
I was actually
It's
happy to burn
Clancy
to death.
Brown, more like Clancy Charred. Am I right?
I'll cut that
Around
in
his
post.
pants. I don't know about that one. Workshop it.
That's a winner in my book.
You get one to stream, so there you go.
Yeah.
That was it.
Thank you.
Lucas comes in, looks at the charred body, and yells, "Happy birthday!" Fades to black, or back to you. You enter the party room, or the stairwell to get to the party, and there's this like black lights and splatter paint. It says something. What does it say? Oh, let's play is written in like glowing. You enter his playhouse, and you have to sit down and watch this video of Lucas playing with the head. And then for some reason, like, why you want to go backwards? We don't need to go backwards. Why does he just start pulling his fingernails off? Like he pulls out that, I thought he was gonna like chop a finger off or something. He's just like pulling off fingernails. Like, cool, man. Like a normal person could pull off fingernails.
A normal person wouldn't pull off their own fingernails, though. That's an important distinction.
I don't know. What, like, I thought he was gonna be like, hey, look what I can do, and like cut his finger off and like it would grow back, but literally he pulls off 2 fingernails and they don't grow back. I didn't understand. Like, he's just a sadistic crazy man.
Yeah.
Like,
And then he's like talking to Evie off screen, like just telling her like, I'm just trying to show him that we don't want to go back.
yeah. And then TV explodes.
Which like earlier the balloon exploded and like a nail and a Ben ended up in that guy, but then this TV explodes and there's no glass in you.
Yeah, I was
at all.
expecting
You're,
like
a half a
pull
foot
like
away.
blast shards out of your hand or like
Yeah.
out of your like face or something. Like you're pulling it, and you can see like cheek pulling, something cool like that. But
He must have really bad vision, by the way. He's sitting way too close to that TV.
well, that TV was huge for a tube TV too. Like it was like literally like the 50-inch tube TV, and you got a chair like 3 feet away from it, just sitting there looking at it.
He just wants to make sure that you're seeing what he's putting out there.
I guess so. So after that explodes, you get to enter the real fun house. So there's just like tripwires and booby traps. I learned my lesson the first time after breaking the box with the knife and it exploded to shoot all boxes from there on out.
I was already shooting boxes because my inventory was so full and I had so much extra handgun ammo that I was like, I'm just gonna leave the knife behind and use handgun ammo. But yeah, I completely forgot about the exploding boxes. I was just lucky I was already using handgun ammo at that point.
Oh, also I forgot, when you leave that foyer, that's the first time you find the creepy crawly through the grass, like spidery guys, right?
I think you find them in the basement.
Like a liquor from Resident Evil 2 or something.
Oh, in the basement?
I think they're in the basement when you go back down to go to the dissection room and see the cop. But yeah, there are also a couple outside when you come back through.
They're a little more creepy going out into the trailer area, and you can't see them like scurrying through the grass.
Yeah.
There's so you progress through like 3 or 4 rooms of booby traps and goodies and what's not booby trapped, what is booby trapped. You get down to the room where Lucas is. There's a like chest, a storage chest, and then there's an electronic lock and a door. As you go up to use the lock, Lucas pops up and like gives you 3 different codes, and I don't remember which one I used. I think I used the first one. I'm gonna assume that neither of them matter because it's not
Yeah,
any of
none of
those
them
codes
are
when you
right.
come back. So luckily enough, after I did it and you started saying tick tock, I actually backed up and didn't get impaled by those swinging, I don't know, metal pieces.
Metal
Did
pipes, it looked
anybody?
like.
Yeah. Did anybody succumb to the booby trap?
Yep.
Mm.
Yep.
Good job.
I didn't know what the fuck to expect, man.
So if you do avoid it and don't have to read, does it kill you? I assume it kills you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you fucking die.
All right.
Is it a good animation? Like you get pinned up in the ceiling, or?
Yeah. Is it cool or?
I don't remember. I was really pissed off when it happens.
Fair.
How far back does it send you? Like, did you have to go from the TV room all the way back down?
I honestly don't remember.
Oh, because then I really would be pissed off because that's a long.
I think it was. I think I had to go through all the booby traps again.
Jeez.
Oh, okay.
Maybe not. It might have been at the very start of the room. I think it was as soon as you walk into the room.
Because I don't remember there being a save recorder, but I remember there's a chest there because when you come back, you have to throw all your stuff in it.
Yeah, I think it was as soon as you walk into that room where he tells you to put in the code.
Oh, so one of these quick saves that we were told about, the
Yeah,
auto
autosave.
saves.
I
You know,
didn't
fucking
look.
annoying.
I didn't look this up or anything. I should have. But does anybody know what happens if you just put in the correct code the first time? Because the code's always the same that you find on Clancy's corpse here in a little bit.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm interested to know.
I would assume it was.
Oh yeah, yeah, I did. I went and like just immediately did everything, like put the code in.
You know,
Yeah. He's like, "What the? How'd you know how to do that?"
Oh, really?
Oh. Cool.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you didn't have to go downstairs and go through the barn and kill the giant bloater man?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the. Are you talking about the birthday section again?
No.
Oh no.
No, no.
The electronic lock. The first time you go to it. And put it in
Oh, never mind. No, I don't.
Yeah.
No,
No.
I thought you were talking about the birthday section again.
You
oh,
can
no,
skip a
no,
lot.
not up there yet.
You can skip a lot if you could do that. That's crazy.
Yeah, like
I'm not sure how that works.
because it opens up that side door and then you go down and you gotta like duck through, and then one of those little creepy spider guys comes behind you and
I know.
then you enter the barn and there's a bunch of moldy men.
Yep, and then you fight that was the first time you fight the bloater. You're right.
Yeah, because you go up and there's a safe room, then you go across and there's like a freight elevator that you can't get into.
Yep.
So you jump down and there's a panel that needs like a
Fuck, I forgot
car
that.
battery. So you go up and grab the car battery, and when you put the car battery in, the freaking thing explodes. Like Lucas just likes making things explode, right? Like this is
Yeah, he just
Michael
like makes horrible things all the time.
so. After that explodes, some sweet music kicks in, and the freight elevator drops down, and the giant, vomity, grotesque, fat mucus man pops out. Which I tried hiding behind that hay bale, like the hay bale, like when he vomits. And I was ducking, and I'm like, okay, this will block it. It didn't block it. Like I still got hit by the vomit. I was like, this is bullshit. I think I used my grenade launcher here on this bastard. So you kill him, and he's like, I didn't really care about him anyway. You hop in the freight elevator, go up to the top, and I think you end up back, like you loop around, there's a little handle you can pull, drops the stairs down, so you're back at the electronic room, but you go past, there's like a charred body, and it says you're next, but it says like 1408, so that's the code.
Yeah, and real
the
quick,
room?
I just looked it up, and if you put in that 1408, it will change that code. It's always 1408 unless you put in 1408 the first time, and it'll just be wrong, and it'll have a different code on its corpse.
That's crazy town. So you can't cheat. No cheating allowed.
Can't cheat that one.
But that was Clancy's body, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was all burned up. Yeah, that says you're next. Foreshadowing that you're going to do happy birthday. So now
Did
you
not
go.
piece that together until just now. So
Oh. So you get back to the code room and you put the right code in, but he won't open.
I got a good joke. Resident Evil Revelations. Am I right? All right. Proceed.
Oh. I said you got one. Yeah, you use somebody else's.
Yeah, but the first one wasn't good. That one was good.
Debatable.
Okay.
So back at the code room, you put the right code in the lock, but Lucas won't let you in until you put all of your belongings in the chest. The door opens, and this is the happy birthday room. So door closes behind you. You basically do the last half of this section. So you never pull the winding key. You just go in, get the water valve, turn that off, light the candle, put it in. Cake blows up, knocks you down, but nothing starts on fire. Lucas is pissed, drops a bomb in. You just grab the bomb and rip a panel off the wall, throw it in there, blows up.
I died in this part because I didn't realize I had to open up a panel.
Oh,
Fair.
okay.
I died a lot in really dumb fucking ways in this game.
It's okay.
Did you write down
It's
how many
okay.
deaths you had at the end on the end screen?
Say what?
Do you know how many deaths you had? It shows you on the end screen.
I didn't look at that. I don't think.
Yeah,
It had to have been a lot. It had to have been a lot. I died so fucking much.
Most of my deaths were in the basement, like at the beginning. I played very poorly there, but
yeah. I think most of my deaths were probably before getting to the foyer or like getting out of the house. Most of my deaths were probably in that house.
Well, I died at every boss fight at least twice.
Oh,
I died at every booby trap at least once. And then I got fucked up by regular people a handful of times. So you could guess probably 30 times probably.
okay. I mean, it's a game.
I'm not good at
Supposed
games.
to
I just
die.
like playing them.
Oh,
you are
okay.
supposed to die.
As long as you are enjoying yourself, that's all
Yeah,
that
I
matters.
had a great time. It's a great game.
Okay. Fantastic. So magically, somehow this hole you blow in the wall leads right to where Lucas was sitting. I like it does the very cartoony thing, like when you enter it, like the chair spinning, like he just got up and ran out of it quick, and it's just like spinning in circles because it's a computer chair. You can look at the monitor and see Zoe and Mia. You find your head that is like basically a dehydrated baby. I think there's a storage chest so you can grab all your crap again if you want.
Yeah.
And you exit out and up, and you can cut Mia free, or no, that's not yet. You just see him on the monitor. So you exit. This is the going towards the boathouse.
Yep.
You exit here, and it's like Dock City. I think you gotta run right. There's a crank over there to raise up a passageway on the left. You run over to the left. I know there's a bunch of guys that spawn here. I literally just ran past all of them because I was over it.
So, here's the thing. That's what you should do. That's what I wanted to do. But I cranked the first crank, and then I was like, fuck this crank, put it back in the box. Went to the second crank
It's
area.
the same thing. I did the same.
I didn't have the fucking crank, so I was like, okay, I'll go back and get the crank. All these fucking enemies are here now. There's like 15 enemies that I gotta kill so that I can go get the crank and come back and crank the stupid thing. So I had to kill all the enemies there. Used a lot of it.
Yep, that's what happened. Yeah. It's so stupid too when you get to the second one. You're like, fuck, come on.
Yeah.
Pretty sure I died at that part too, to be honest with you.
Oh, I also forgot that when you look on that monitor, I think Lucas is like running away, saying a bunch of crap, and like, I don't do spoilers, and, like keeps running. So, is he in DLC? Because that's literally the last time you see Lucas.
Yeah.
He's in the Not a Hero DLC.
Okay. So you can cover that when we get to the end of the story.
Sure thing.
Yay! Okay. So, in that boathouse, after you get across, you got your save, your storage. You head up. This is where Mia and Zoe are. You free them, give them the head and the arm. She makes you the sweet nummy juice.
Yeah. Did you look at what she did there? Because she just like she kneels
No,
over
she's got, like-
something. She like mashes
there's,
them
like-
into a container and then pulls out
Yeah.
2 serums.
Yep. Yeah, there's like a little like Tide container with like a little thing in the top. And she's like just sitting over the top of it, and you hear like some weird noises, and she pulls it out and she's like,
Yeah.
I got
You
2.
can get around the corner and like see, and they literally just disappear from her hands at some point and turn into the serums. It's like, it's so dumb that they didn't think about this head arm thing at all. It's like, why?
It was
Also,
a
why does
press.
she know how to do that?
Yeah, I assume she's just pureeing them. and then squeezing the juice out of him.
Do you want some sweet dead grinded parts?
Yep, you got it.
So she gives them to you, and then good old boy Jack's back. Busts through like the entire side of the wall. He's got like freaking 30 eyeballs now, which that's a cool part of mutation. Like, at least you know where to shoot them. So I got all of the eyeballs, and I'm like, man, he's not dying. What's going on? Literally spent like the next 10 minutes traversing up and down, avoiding him, trying to find the last one. He had like a weird like tail part, like a tentacle, and there was like this tiny little eye, like that was always covered. And I'm like, God damn it! Finally shot that one.
Yeah, I got that one first, luckily, because I immediately fell and was like, oh, hey, there's an eyeball down here.
Yeah, I just shot all the obvious ones right. I didn't care. Like, this wasn't a bad boss fight, but I didn't really care for it. I felt it was pretty.
This is
I was
super...
surprised by it. I wasn't expecting him to come back.
No, I thought he was kind of dead,
Yeah.
but then obviously after seeing Marguerite die, I figured he was probably still okay.
Yeah, this is like super generic Resident Evil boss fight. There's a bunch of eyes, shoot the eyes, and then he dies.
Yeah, yeah, it's like, or like the orange areas.
Don't you inject him with one of the serums?
Yeah,
Yeah, you end up
At
having
the
to use
end.
one of the serums.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's a little bit different.
Which,
but yeah, that's just part of a scene, I think, though. That's not really.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as like Marguerite dying, right? Like she just calcified, died. But with Jack, like he kept coming back. He didn't calcify and turn to dust until you inject him with the D series serum. So that's one of the things I don't understand about this game, really.
No, it doesn't make any sense, and it makes even less sense if you play the End of Zoe DLC, because Jack's still alive and he's some weird swap monster thing that you beat the shit out of as Joe Baker. You should play that DLC. It's fucking weird. But yeah, he's still alive for some reason, and then you kill him again.
It's crazy town. So yeah, you have to use your serum, and here comes the choice. After killing Jack with the good old serum here, you only have one left. Who do you save? So I believe this is your friend Ryan, Tim.
My boy Tim.
He's got a question. Who did you guys pick to give the antidote to, and why? He chose Zoe because he wanted to go a different way and not pick Mia, which would be the obvious choice. I picked Zoe because the bitch didn't try to kill me about 5 times up until now.
Same.
I picked Mia because she's my wife.
Well, congratulations. You're the only one that got an ending that doesn't fucking blow. This is the worst example of choice in a game, because it's like there is the right choice, and it's Mia, apparently, and there's the wrong choice, which is Zoe, where everything fucking sucks.
So what happens then?
Okay, so
I mean, this fucking thing, dude. This part is so stupid.
It is dumb.
So at this point, it's basically like Mia's like, I'll just stay here. I got things I got to take care of, right? She's like, I got to finish this or something. Just go. And, you know, I'm like, oh, Zoe and I'll just ride off into the sunset. Let's hop in the boat. Literally, what, like a minute later? Like, I think I told
Not even
Tyler,
that. It's probably 30 seconds.
I swear to God, I like told Tyler, I'm like, I picked Zoe. And then like a minute later, I'm like, that didn't last long. Like
Yeah.
literally on the boat, like she like calcifies and like turns into like crud and just disappears. And I'm like, oh,
Yep.
cool, I
For
guess.
no fucking reason.
Oh,
Just inexplicable.
But first, she tells you about the tanker, and that's how
That's where
Evie
Mia
and
Evie-
Mia got there.
And then you
Yeah.
get don't you get attacked by something?
Yep. Yeah.
weird
So
tentacle thing.
she like weird tentacles, like the big snot tentacles, like, knock the boat over, and you get knocked out. But yeah, I was like, oh man, that's really weird that it just does that, and then
And then you still
Yeah.
wash up on the boat as Mia for no fucking reason, even though
yeah,
Mia's
and
all the
then
way back
Mia's
at the
there, like,
bayou.
what the hell?
It makes no fucking sense.
They should not
I
have
was
had the
so
choice.
confused at this part. I had no idea what the fuck was happening.
they just
I was
like
like,
Mia there then?
Yeah,
I thought
Yeah.
it was Zoe still. I was like, oh fuck, Zoe's still alive. Here we go. I'm playing as Zoe. And then it was like, no, I'm Mia. What? I was like, what? When did this happen? Makes no sense at all.
That
Yeah.
seems really messed up. Like, I feel like they should have just killed you and had you like that almost would have been a better
wrong
decision to
choice,
just
pick
kill
Mia.
you and say like, no, make the other decision. Do the right one now.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Here are my notes as I did them. Was not expecting to have to choose between me and Zoe. Fuck that dad for turning into a giant monster. Okay, so then Zoe died immediately. Wait, playing as Mia on the tanker? What the fuck is this? Just
Yeah, it didn't
no.
it didn't mesh well.
Yeah, so when you pick Mia, do you... Because Zoe still calcifies even if you pick Mia, but do you get to see that at that scene, or is that only you get to see it in DLC?
I don't remember seeing that at all.
Okay.
So must be DLC.
Because in the end of Zoe's DLC, you see that she still got calcified on the shore, and then but she didn't like turn into dust. And you play as Joe Baker, another Baker, and you work on rescuing her from her calcified state.
She just gets all angry and she's like, "Fine, guess I can't ever leave this place. Knew I was destined to be here." Something like that.
Yeah, so I wonder how Mia gets to the wreckage.
I don't know.
Her spidey sense was tingling.
I love how she's like, I'll stay here. I have shit to do, as in follow you guys to this tanker and then another secret boat.
You can't have that sex with Zoe.
Yeah.
You're mine. So yeah, you wake up as Mia on the wreckage, walk like 10 feet to see Ethan, who is immediately encompassed by gross, snotty tentacles and disappears through the ground.
So his a touch that I like here, but I'm curious if it's consistent for everybody. His watch is red. Is his watch always red, or was that because I was already low on health? Because I know my watch was.
Well, I
already
think
red.
it's because he got knocked over that it goes red that way. Yeah, I think it's like...
I didn't notice his watch. I was too busy racking my brain on what the fuck just happened.
Fair.
I don't understand. So, yep, now we get to explore the ship as Mia. Yay! Who has nothing. Yay! There's some pretty cool scenery as you're going through this tanker, having these flashbacks, but when you go up those steps and there's that weird spiral of like the molded like regular people, like they're just all black and gooey, but they're all like reaching out. Like I actually thought when I was going up the steps, because you have to pass a bunch of them, that they were just gonna like grab you, like pull you in, because
Creepy
that
shit.
would make sense.
Yeah.
But I guess they didn't think so. So getting up to the what floor do you get to? There's like a bunch of flashbacks that are happening. Like you see the crew. They lock themselves in. They're like, "Oh, she's fucking gone crazy," and like they'll lock the door and like, "We can escape through the hatch. Let's go down here." So you go in that little hatch and you're like crawling around through like by the piping and stuff, and then you drop down, and I think you see one of them's like dead on a toilet, and the other one's like jammed into a locker, and they're just sitting there like all gross and dead. It's like, oh, I guess you guys didn't really make it away, but that's okay, you know. It is what it is.
Yeah, Mia also, like Ethan, has very little say about the creepy shit that's everywhere. She don't care.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, we know at this point she is that creepy shit.
Yeah, she is that creepy shit, and she made that creepy shit.
She is creepy shit.
There's a note on the wall or like written on the wall that it says, what does it say? I don't remember. It's right by the guy. Oh, she's not my child. Is like written on the wall, and like, I don't know, probably blood or gross black goo. Who knows? So yeah, there's a lot of. I like the cool scenery as you walk around this area with just the gross stuff, and then when you walk out and like you go into the parts where the tanker's just ripped open, you got the wind blowing. I enjoyed that part. Like, you just go out there and you can hear the wind blowing. You just stand there and look at all the wreckage. And, like, that freaking tanker was huge.
Yeah, I like how you can see like how big it is and just the location. It's so odd to see a tanker like crash into like a swampy bayou area. It's very cool. I like how they change up the environment right here. This area is probably my favorite area in the game.
Yeah, it's I didn't mind this area. I thought it was pretty fun. I like how you start off helpless.
Yeah. It was longer than I remembered, but I
long.
thought it was pretty good. I don't really like the flashback tape. It's a little too like just run down hallways and shoot things.
Yeah,
And none
yeah,
of the
that part I
supplies
wasn't
matter.
like super excited about, but
Yeah.
and I think
The Smack wrote in
Smack.
about it, yeah.
yeah, he didn't care much for that area. uh,
Yeah,
I know he wrote
he
it
says
somewhere.
final act is the weakest when it turns into a boring ship labyrinth and a quasi shooter. So
Yeah,
you're wrong.
he didn't enjoy
Tyler,
it
I'm
that
sorry.
I did 3.
I liked so after you get through this initial part, like getting the fuse,
Yeah,
opening
which-
up the door,
getting
like
that
the stuff where
fuse-
you're helpless and you're running around,
Good.
it wasn't that bad. The flashback stuff was kind of like with the VHS tape. So you get to the top floor, and Evie's like, "Watch it. You need to remember." So you watch the video, and then that takes you back. Like, and who's this weird guy you're with too? What's his name? Like Alan or something?
Helping you watch over Evie.
Yeah, Alan, isn't that his name?
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
remember.
He's fucking
Alan.
dead. Who cares?
So he's like sick, right at the beginning.
Yeah, he's been
It's like,
infected.
oh, you gotta find her. So you're,
Infected.
he's infected. Same thing like being sick. He's got the COVID. I don't know. You gotta use your
He's got the mold.
you gotta use your watch to track Evie down. And I like when you find the first thing and it's like, oh, she's vomiting. Like, Jesus Christ, that came out of her body. It's in that kitchen and just like a big pile
Yeah.
of like viney, veiny, gross, weird stuff. And you gotta recalibrate your watch. Start running around. I think you go down to S2, which I think is like the subfloor, and you're tracking her running around. I don't think there's none of the oily guys yet, is there? I think no, they are. They do start the moldies start appearing.
The moldies. Yeah, she like constantly
old-
has her watch out if you're not aiming your gun, which is mildly obnoxious. Just
Yeah.
like no matter what, you have to have something obfuscating your view.
It's like, just put your freaking hand down, lady.
Yeah,
Like, if I want to look at it, I'll look at it. Like, I haven't used my map the entire time I've been playing this game.
yeah.
I don't need to look at my
Exactly.
watch.
It's a. Oh, also, I should mention, you get to if you have the Albert gun from beating the game before, you get access to that here as well. So you can pull it out of the box and have that with the machine gun. And then also when you turn back, like when you go back to being Mia on the ship, it's also in the item box. So you don't have to worry about finding the guns real quick. It makes the ship much less scary, which is actually unfortunate.
I didn't find the ship scary. Well, I mean, when you don't have a weapon in the beginning, it's a
Yeah.
little more like, oh crap. But yeah, once you're doing this and you get the machine gun, it's like, and you start getting like, you get tons of these bombs. Like I think I used the bombs maybe 3 times, and I probably had like a good 10 or so.
Yeah.
And
I use
Yeah.
those bombs a lot.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I started using them all over the place.
Yeah, it became like how I played the game towards the end. Was just setting the bombs, getting a big group together, setting the bomb, walking away.
Yep. Saves so much ammo.
Yeah, I like this part too because that's when you start getting like the acid stuff to start pouring the acid on the locks to break those locks.
yeah,
Bunch of
so,
bullshit.
Yeah, how did that
Bullshit.
work, Mr. Locksmith? How did
Yeah, the quiet guy over there. What's he got to say?
It fucking doesn't work like that. Even if you did pour corrosive substance into a lock the way they did, you wouldn't actually be destroying the things keeping the cylinder from turning because the pins should be resting up, not down. And even if you did melt the cylinder out, it wouldn't just open the lock up because the bolt's still thrown in the door. You have to somehow retract the bolt or the latch into the door in order to actually get it to open up. You can't just pour acid in where you put the key in and expect the lock to open.
What if it's like a special acid that spreads all the way down to the deadbolts?
See, I just assumed it was like
Happen is
it's an electric lock and they were pouring the acid in and it was frying the electronics and that would pull the.
But most electronic locks are fail secure, so when they if the electronics ever fail, they lock shut as opposed to just opening up.
So Capcom's a bunch of fucking liars, is what you're telling me.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Ask a Locksmith.
Yeah, I mean, this is the same game where they shoved a head and an arm into a Tide bottle and called it serum.
Oh, I've
Call
been
it
waiting
science.
so long to ask you about that corrosive acid.
Why
I
did you
knew
guys,
when you
why did
got
you
that
guys segued and brought that up? I was like, I have to know what he thinks about this.
The second I saw it, I'm like, oh, that's gonna come up.
Well, it's either you break the locks. Yeah, you can pick them, a few of them, but
Yeah.
pretty much you just cut it or you melt it.
I have a bone to pick with the picks that they have because they depict a lock pick for dimple locks, and most of the locks are not dimple locks that you would attempt to pick. So they're using the wrong tool for the right job.
Cool. That's backwards.
Also,
right?
why does Ethan know how to pick locks? I mean, I guess we don't know everything about his life. Maybe he is a locksmith. We don't know anything about
Yeah.
Then he'd know he's got the wrong tool.
I'm under the impression that by the end of this that Chris knew him in some way.
Yeah, there's a weird conversation that happens that I was gonna bring up later.
Yeah,
I mean-
I don't know how, but Chris knows him in some way. I don't know
Yes.
if they go into that in any DLC, but
No, not at all. But they might get into that in Resident Evil 8 because we know they are both there and there's bad shit going on between them.
yeah.
Very nice. So we get down to the bottom, and Evie's standing there, and you kind of like loop around, and she disappears, talking about you don't want to be your mommy and weird crap like that. And then you basically call your fake husband Alan. Is that what his name is?
Alan.
Sure.
Alan.
I swear that's what his name was, but I can't remember.
Alan Wake.
I cannot hear the name Alan without thinking of that scene in Jurassic Park 3 where they're on the plane and he's dreaming and the raptors just keep saying Alan. It's very dumb.
Oh, good. That's good. All right. So, anyway, whatever his name is slowly dying up on the upper parts of the ship, and you're chasing down Evie as she runs away from you again, fighting more of the moldy molds as you climb through. You take the elevator. Is this when the elevator breaks down? You take it up and then like it kind of stops in between levels.
Sure.
I don't remember. And this is in the flashback tape you're talking about?
Yes, this is the flashback tape because it
Oh.
breaks in the flashback tape because it
Yeah,
doesn't work.
it's already broken in the future, yeah.
Yeah. So either way, you end up at the top, and this is when like you go into the room. You basically go back to the room that you went to watch the video in. You go past that, and this is where the laptop is that you are using in the very beginning of the game. When you record the little video and your hands are all shaky and bloody. After you do that and go around the corner, that's where guy who will remain nameless, I guess, is dying, and he like calls he calls Evie like a bitch. she just like starts making him like melt from the inside out as he screams, "Oh, get away!" And then he like hands you the tissue vial, I think. That's got her tissue so that you can make the
Yeah.
stuff to make her go
I think this
bye-bye.
is a little bit backwards because I think Alan dies before the tape because once Alan dies she gets wrapped up in the mold and she wakes up and she's got the mold all over her. And she
Oh,
knows she's
that might be the
infected.
room before, like there's a hallway and then it's like, okay.
Yeah, and then she records the video because she knows she's fucked with the infection all up in her.
Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. Because then you go out, take a left, and there's like one of the workers like running at you, and then right he's about to like hit you with something. Evie just makes him like explode.
Yeah.
Or something happens, and then she like just basically makes the entire tanker explode, and then it goes to the little cinema moment where like they both getting ripped apart, and you're like floating in the water, and then it like pans away, and you just see your floating body, and now you're back to reality.
See, I like that sequence because it's like, now we know what the fuck is causing this shit.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
like,
it gives you some backstory, yeah.
been waiting for however long to figure out what the fuck the molded are, what's going on, what is this overarching story of what's creating all this, and now we know that it was just this weird little girl, and that Mia did have a major role in her being there,
So this whole thing with her, like, Mia obviously works for Umbrella, right?
Yeah, well, they're not
She
Umbrella at this point.
No, she works for somebody. I don't know that we ever find out the name, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But Umbrella is actually the company Chris works for at the very end.
Yeah, because that's on the helicopter
And
at the
they're a
end. That's like
good
the only
guy
time
company
it's
now.
mentioned.
Apparently.
Okay, so she's just weird, some weird, super.
There is an email in the Not a Hero DLC between Lucas and another organization.
So that organization is called it's called Connections, and they sell bioweapons to terrorists, basically. I don't know that that's who she's working for, though, because it seems like they kind of picked up on the E-Series virus once Evelyn was already at the Bayou.
Okay.
Okay. Connections. So back in normal land, I think Evie is gone. So now your basic main goal is getting the elevator activated, right? So you can go where the elevator is, drop to the top of it, climb up. You end up in like the captain's deck area, and there's a couple moldies up there. And then there's a room that you can go in it's locked, that has the machine gun that you need the captain's key for. So you can go and find that if you want. I don't think you have to find that. It's just something that makes things easier. So it's basically run around, find the fuse. There's all kinds of rooms to go into, all kinds of crap to find. But essential goal is you got to get back to the room you used the fuse on earlier when you were helpless to open the door for the stairwell to get up to where Evie was. So you can grab that. There's a puzzle room with the paintings, because you basically just make them look like the other side. Oh, yeah. And what is in there? Is that just a bunch of corrosive?
Yep.
Yeah.
Squirt bottles. That puzzle seemed very out of place. Also, that room had nothing in it before. It was just
in the flashback. That's interesting.
Yeah, in the flashback, because that's the room. So there's the room she vomits in. Then there's the room you went through, and if you go into that room, there's nothing there.
Oh, weird.
Like, it looks the same, but there's no paintings on the wall.
Oh, is that where that room was?
A chair.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So now there's magically paintings on the wall that have traps, which is weird. You have to go down to up. I think on the third floor is where you find the sick bay, which is where you get the power cable for the elevator.
Yeah, this part is pretty cool. While you're trying to unscrew the power cable, you hear the fat guy coming.
Yeah.
And if you can get the cable out, you can sucker that fat guy into getting in there and get past him, but otherwise you have to fight him with whatever you have, which is probably just a pistol if you went and got the pistol first, or just the machine gun if you went to the second floor and got the key and then went up and got the captain's machine gun.
Pretty sure I just ran past him.
Yeah. Or if you grab nothing, you have
coming.
to run past him.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, I got one side done, and then I turned and looked. I'm like, not happening. So I started screwing the other one and pulled it off and ran. I was like, I'm not fighting that thing. That's a no bueno for this guy. So now you have the tools. Somewhere around there you can find the freaking captain's key at some point to get the machine gun. I don't remember where.
It's in a room
and then you get corrosive.
somewhere.
And you can find all those boxes that you can now unlock with the magic power of corrosive bottles, because that's how locks work, as we found out. And just burn them open.
Completely accurate.
Disappointment.
Scientifically accurate.
You heard
It's
it
not
here.
how any of this works.
So you get to the elevator. So once you get the elevator working, you can take it down to S2, which is the bottom floor, which is where Ethan is. So for us, we have to fight Mia.
Yeah.
After we save Ethan. It goes to a flashback, and Jack and Ethan are sitting in a room, and Zoe's pacing. And Jack's like, we weren't always like this. We aren't killers. She did this to us. She gets inside your head and your soul and confuses you and starts you to make you to do things, in reference to Evie.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, you got to save our family. So
I love that part, by the way.
And now you're Ethan you're stuck in the cocoon or whatever.
Yeah.
And you can hear Mia and Evie like talking on the outside. Mia rips you open, or rips open the cocoons to save you. She gives you the vial of the tissue sample of Evie because she knows she's starting to like change again. Like she starts getting all black and gross. So having saved Zoe, we have to fight her, and basically all you gotta do is run around to the back, grab a crowbar, and you just block it, or not block. Just beat the crap out of her.
It's the same as the axe fight at the beginning. She's got a knife, you've got a crowbar, which it took me a little while to find that crowbar. I ran around and just blocked her hits for a while, but blocking
it's like really
makes
dark.
her do nothing.
It's like literally you can only go around in that little area, and it's like there's got to be some here. This is ridiculous. And I finally saw it. I'm like, God, I'm an idiot. There's a crowbar. What happens if you saved Mia?
Mia just helps you out, gives you the neurotoxin, and then sends you to go get Evie.
Yeah, she like pushes you out of the room before she goes crazy and transforms. Which is, I mean, it just doesn't make any sense because she still clearly is trying to save you. She still would have pushed you out of the room before she transformed, even though you saved Zoe, I feel like. But
yeah,
they have to punish you further for choosing Zoe by making you kill Mia. And she calcifies and everything, so she's dead.
And Zoe's really standoffish in that cutscene with, I don't know if it's the same way. She kind of feels like you killed her. I don't know. She seems a little upset.
She's she's like, I don't know. She doesn't really say anything. She just like kind of walks around and like her arms folded.
Oh no, she's like sitting on the couch, turned around, occasionally glaring back at you the whole cutscene. She's not walking around at all.
Oh, she's walking around like staring out the window.
No, not for me.
No.
When Jack's...
I like that cutscene a lot because to me it's like a way for them to normalize like this massive enemy that you've been fighting this entire time.
That they were normal.
Yeah, it's a really good way of like spinning what we've been doing on its head and being like, this, what you have been fighting is not the real evil, you know? Now we're facing the true threat. I thought that was great.
Yeah, without playing any of the DLC, it's the only scene where they really humanize the family.
Okay. So yeah, when we kill Mia, she calcifies, I'm pretty sure. And
she did.
Turns to dust.
Goes poof. No more Mia. She is gone. So now as we're leaving this area, I believe something pops on the wall saying it's all your fault, right? In reference to you and her losing Mia, because as we soon find out, Mia was her favorite. Yeah. So now we are at the salt mines. Yay!
Which this section was actually a lot shorter than I remember, probably because I was getting it mixed up with the Not a Hero DLC, which is Chris's DLC that you spend entirely in the salt mines.
Before we go to the salt mines, don't we find out in the tankers from Mia that Evie is aging rapidly? Or did we find that out in the salt mine?
No, that's in an email.
In the salt mines, one of the soldiers talks about it, I believe.
It's in an email between Lucas and Connections.
Okay.
Oh. I remember it's an email, and they said, oh, by the way, she is, like, super old now.
Yeah, she's aging really quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a reason for that. As we will find out. Maybe. Okay. Salt mines! Woo! Yeah, this area was really short for me because once you get to a certain point, I kind of ran past a crap ton of enemies. And did not kill them.
This area is super straightforward.
Yeah. So you get to a shack, like you kind of go out. There's like a marshy area, and there's like a shit ton of dead fish, which is cool because they kind of get stuck on you as you're like going forward.
Yeah.
Like I was dragging one the entire way. Once you get up into the shack, there's a CB radio in which you have Alpha and Bravo talking about the Baker family. There were signs of there's definitely like an engagement, like there was fights. They ask about Evie, and then they talk about Lucas leaving messages for an unknown third party. And they say, you probably know who that is. I have no idea what they're talking about.
It's the Connections.
Yeah.
But when they said third party, like not knowing any of this connection stuff, I assumed they were talking to me.
Yeah.
Because They were talking about all the little VHS tapes and shit.
Yeah, that's
But-
like something that without DLC they literally don't explain at all. They don't explain like who Lucas is emailing later either. I assumed it was Umbrella, the same company that Chris was working for, until I did some digging on the DLC.
Because I wrote, like, who was it? Do they know who Ethan is? Is Ethan, like, somebody that we don't know that has a deeper meaning? And, I mean, it kind of gets a little weirder later, too. You exit the shack, and it's a frickin' mold man party. Like, there's, like, what,
Yeah.
6 of them out there dancing around. And now you start to get some that are, like, hopping around on the ground that don't have, like, any limbs.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're cool.
And it's really
They're my
odd.
buds.
I don't know.
This is also the
Uh,
part where
yeah.
I had a bunch of psychostimulants saved up, so I just started using them to make sure I found everything in the environment, make sure I had plenty of ammo. So we should talk really quick about psychostimulants because we haven't mentioned them. It's like,
I don't think I ever used one.
oh really?
Oh, I use
Well,
them all the time.
Yeah, it puts a ping in the environment, like it literally looks like a little ping, like in a multiplayer game, where
Sure.
every single item is, and that's like their way of allowing you to find every single item if you want to, including like it shows you where the bobbleheads are, which they went from that to in Resident Evil 2 and 3. They just have on the map the room will turn blue instead of being red. Like it'll be red until you found all the items in there, and then it'll be blue, which is a lot simpler, but also it doesn't help you find collectibles and stuff. So I think I prefer what Resident Evil 2 and 3 does, but the psychostimulant, like a big reason why I do like that is because you can get really distracted by the pings and just run into an enemy like an idiot and get your ass whooped real quick. Whereas, you know, when you were in the map, the game is paused in Resident Evil 2 and 3.
Oh. See? Yeah, I think if I used one, it was probably once on accident. Otherwise, I don't think I used... I had a lot of stuff that I also did not make at the end of the game. Like, I had a lot of materials that I would collect and just put in there because they were taking up space, and I never combined them into anything. Because a lot of the stuff you can't stack, like the chemicals.
Yeah, I use the psychosomatics a lot because I wanted to find all those antique coins.
Oh, yeah, I definitely did not find all those.
I didn't find them all, but I got enough to get the revolver, so...
Yeah, I didn't get that either.
I think I had like 6 left over because I bought the other 2 things, but not the Magnum.
All right, so you take the mine shaft elevator down after you dispense of all the gross moldy men. Once you get downstairs, it's pretty much easy. Like, it kind of folds into like a tree, but it's really just, you can only go like 10 feet one way, pick up some crap, 10 feet another way, grab some crap. I did enjoy this next part because as you run, like I kept running, I didn't know there was guys behind me, so I got to the mine cart and I just pushed it, and then you can't see anything because you're like looking down, and then you push it, and then I looked up and there's like 5 guys there, and it just like obliterated all of them, and it was awesome.
Yeah, it is. It is very cool. I was using... I don't know how much enhanced ammo you guys made, but I was using the Albert with enhanced ammo, and it's basically a Magnum and one-shots everything with a headshot at that point. Pretty sweet.
I think I made a couple clips, but I don't think I ever really used the ammo. So I
Enhanced
didn't like
ammo,
how...
and ammo is remarkably powerful in this game. Because like in later games, Resident Evil 2 and 3, like you actually had recipes to make shotgun shells, whereas in this game you can't make shotgun shells, you just make the enhanced ammo instead. So it's basically as powerful as a shotgun shell, you just have to be more precise than a shotgun.
Huh. I didn't really mess with the combination of stuff.
Really?
A lot.
I love the combining system in this game. It's simple.
If I did, it was to make room for other crap.
There's a lot of that. There's a lot of inventory management, obviously, which is a big part of survival horror, and it's a part that I personally love. I know it's divisive, but I think most people who like these games like managing the inventory.
I don't mind it. Like, it never felt like it was super cumbersome, but it seemed easier to do in this Resident Evil than past Resident Evils.
Yeah, they give you plenty of space, and that's another thing they've done with the modern Resident Evil games is give you enough space to where you don't feel like you're constantly dealing with one space, and then you got to run back to the box every time you find something, but not so much space that you feel like, well, I'm just grabbing everything. What's the point of the inventory system even?
Sure. Yeah, because you find at least like three or 4 backpacks, I think.
3 backpacks, yeah.
3, yeah. Okay.
Which one of them you find is
So
Mia? I don't remember if it
yeah,
must not be in the flashback.
it's in. No, I think it is in the tape.
Yeah,
No,
because
it's
then
in,
it is because everything that you get in her flashback and in her playthrough, it transfers over to Ethan in
Yeah,
the storage box.
the flashback stuff transferring makes no sense, but
it's time travel, baby.
whatever.
It all works out. Down at the end, so after you knock that minecart through the wall, you get to the spot where the lab is. You go up some stairs, and there's like more booby traps and stuff down here too. So it seems like Lucas has been here because it's the same traps that he was setting.
Yep.
He has.
Oh. So you get to his little labby lab, and
Yeah.
there's a bunch of stuff discussed here.
Yeah, there's a bunch of emails about like Evelyn and how Lucas has been keyword by this company who you don't know the name of. You learn in the DLC, I believe, that it's Connections. Like he's been keyword, and I think you learn in the DLC that he's been made like their lead researcher on the E-Series virus because he's able to get close to Evelyn because she still thinks that he's under her influence.
Mm-hmm.
And basically they're trying to recreate like a controllable version of the E-Virus or E-Series virus because Evelyn's out of fucking control. Like you're not going to control Evelyn at this point.
Yeah.
And they're trying to make that to sell to someone.
Yeah, I know they talk about like her weird family obsession, and he's like, "Did you guys? Was she programmed like that? Like, why was she imprinted to have this strong like family
Yeah.
like, bond?"
So that's a good point. So Mia probably was working for Connections, I would guess then, because he's talking to them like they originally designed her. So
Yeah.
so
That's
yeah,
weird.
probably the same company that Mia worked for.
And
Well,
this
this
is
is
when they
also-
started talking about like what her powers did, right, and why she was made. So like she would control soldiers on the field
Yep.
and turn enemy soldiers into allies and all that jazz.
Yeah. Yeah, that's in some of these documents and emails, and it's also where they talk about when she infects you, like you start to hallucinate. You see her as a child. You're the only one that can see her. You're the only one that hears her. And she's not actually there. It's just a way for her to break down your mind, and you see her as a little girl. So the entire time, all these people are seeing her as a little girl is because they are infected with her. So she's actually like as she breaks you down, then you see her for what she is. So that's why all of a sudden, Lucas was emailing. It's like she got old really fast, which is probably when he was cured, and he was seeing who she actually was, not the little girl in his brains anymore, right?
So I think she's actually like legitimately aging fast over the 3 years since she got there. She went from being 10
Yeah.
to being 90 or whatever.
Yeah, well, they talk about the treatments that they can administer at the facility, and they've never, without those treatments, people age quickly, and they never let it go for more than 6 months because shit would go down.
Yeah, there's a lot of
So to
science
speak.
mumbo jumbo in here that some of
Yeah.
it honestly contradicts itself. There's a lot of YouTube videos out there. We're not professionals, but there's a lot of people breaking down why this shit doesn't really make sense. There's several different ways that the E-Series virus works according to different people. There's 2 notes in this room that contradict each other in the same room for some reason about like how long it takes for the E-Series to affect you. But overall, I still really like that they throw all the sciencey shit in here, and that this is where it really starts to connect back to the base game because it's all like virus research, E-Series virus, just like the
It's
T
all
virus and all that crap.
bioweapons,
Yeah.
human bioweapons.
So I know when you get to that part with in this lab to make the toxin or whatever to take down Evie, it's talking about like, well, it can cure. It'll either cure you or kill you, and like there's such a small like time window that typically they only make it to kill. Like, there's no way to like know. Like it depends on how long you were infected and whether it cures you or kills you. And it didn't seem like they really know when that time frame is. They just know that there's a little window where you can get this, and it'll actually get rid of her infection instead of like completely destroying. Because I know there's those pictures of them giving it to people, and then there's like vomiting and dying and calcifying.
Which Mia has been infected for 3 years, so that serum should have killed her, but
Yeah. But she was okay.
yeah,
But that was a different one. That was the D series. So now you're
Oh,
making
right,
a completely
right.
different one. This is the E series, like
yes.
neurotoxin or whatever. So yeah,
That's
I don't
true.
know.
They don't mention the D series serum or whatever at all in that lab. Weird.
No, and it's weird that Zoe knows how to make it.
Yeah. Whatever. Just
Yeah.
it's fine.
Video
It's
games, yay! So after leaving this area, you kind of go through some more a tunnel, and it's like kind of flooded, and you hear Evie like humming or singing like as you're
Very
going,
creepy.
and you start going up the ramp, and she like flashes up, and she probably tells you you're gonna die or something stupid like that. I don't remember what happened. She immediately disappears, and then instantaneously it's moldy party. So this part, I didn't shoot anybody. I just ran. I'm like,
Yeah.
screw this.
Lot of
So I
little
ran
guys.
past, like, I didn't take any side, like, caverns to run around. I took a straight path going up, going up. You make it to that, like, pit with the conveyors, and there's, like, the two big fatties show up. I basically lured them to one side, ran to the other side, ran up the ladder, and got out of there.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to do this. I think there's one or two that they intentionally drop in your path that you have to like knock out along the way or drag back.
Yeah, I think there was,
But
I, like, shot them in the face with a shotgun so they, like, fall over, and then I just kept running while they were down on the ground. I was like, nope, I'm going.
I killed like half of the enemies here just because I could. Powerful.
I killed everybody just because I could.
I figured I was saving all my good ammo for end boss fight. So I'm
I
like,
got
I'm
killed
not.
by the two fatties too, by the way.
Yeah, I killed the two fatties.
Just to talk about how much I kept fucking dying in this game.
Did you kill the fatties?
Did you die
Ryan?
on them?
Did I die on what?
The fatties? Did you die on them?
Yeah, I died.
Oh, okay.
And
Just
then
kill the
I came back to life and I murdered those fat pieces of shit. Hate them. Hate them all.
Very nice.
Did you fight the
I
fatties? Did
avo-
you fight anything this round? Ryan?
I avoided things as much as I could. I pulled a Tom and just tried to save everything for that final boss fight.
I pulled the Tom.
Mm-hmm.
You blew everything up.
No, that
No,
would have
that's
been
the
pulled to
opposite
Michael
of what
Bay.
you did. You're not matching up to your name, sir.
So getting to the top here, suddenly you open this door, there's a barricade, and you're back to where you started.
This game's fucking good, y'all. I love this
Yeah,
shit.
it's so cool that it folds
You
back
see
onto
the
something like that.
dolls
Ugh.
and a wheelchair, and then you go into the other room, and there's the picture of Granny again, and you start getting flashbacks. So Mia's like walking around. You go back up, you're back in the house. You get back to the chainsaw fight flashbacks. Just the argument ones where she's whipping you around. I like the one where she throws you on the ground before she cuts your hand off, and she actually gets your arm up, and then she stabs a screwdriver in, but you like move your hand, and you're like, huh, it's fake. Fake news.
Yeah, it is. It's all fake. Even like when you're being chased by her, like when you go back down the hallway towards the door, and then
And she's like hitting you with the chainsaw. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
none of it
And I'm like
actually
shooting
hurts
at
you.
her. It's like, what the hell's going on? It didn't work. So you basically make your way up to the attic again, right? And that's like you just
Yep.
get the flashbacks. You're going up to the attic. She's up there. She's just like sitting, like scrunched up. Oh, at one point you say, she's like, you want to play? And you like hold up the neurotoxin. You're like, I'm not here to play. And then she gets like freaked out.
Yeah.
And like runs, and that's when you go to the attic, and she's up there doing like these weird pulse waves. So you can like, you have to block. So this is where I started blocking again. So like at first I'm like, oh shit, which one is it? And I'm hitting like left trigger. I'm like, that's not block.
Yeah, I died to this dumb shit.
So it's like every
This part.
I did not die at this part, but it's like every fourth one you have to stop and block, and it like pushes you back, and then you can move forward. Literally, it's just walking. I was disappointed in the boss fight because once you get to her, you just stab her with the neurotoxin. She turns back to the old lady.
It was the whole lady the whole time. What the fuck?
Oh my
Yep.
god.
Come on.
So
That
she's
was a
like,
good reveal.
"Why does
I love that
nobody?
shit.
Why does everybody hate me?" Is what she says, and then she starts like and like oozing out, and then down into the ground, and then very on the back wall, like House on Haunted Hills, you get the swirly black gross stuff. her face just comes out. And I'm disappointed in this part just because all it is this entire fight just unload everything you have into her face.
But it was the old lady the whole time, Tom. What the fuck?
Well, I know that, but like, I wasn't like blown away by that fact.
I was not expecting it. So
Oh.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it either. That
wasn't
was one hell of a
expecting it.
reveal.
But I wasn't like, oh my god,
and it's like, I guess because like the entire time I was playing it, my wife was like basically watching me, and I kept saying to her the entire game, like when you're in the main house, like, what, I fucking hate this old lady. She's creeping me out. Why is this old lady always here? What the fuck is with this old lady? And it was her. She was it.
So like how she could get around that way.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. In post, it makes sense, but at the time, it's like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah,
I love that reveal. Like that reveal and like knowing what Evie is and all that. It makes me love this game. I love the story. I think it's so good. I think it's great.
So. Yeah. And if you were like reading all the documents and stuff, and you saw a mention of E001, you can also put that together when you see the photo again, because you come back through where that little photo is of the old lady that says E001 on the back.
Yeah. Yeah, at that point, yeah, I knew who she was before like that reveal. I'm like, well, it's got to be her because
I don't think I found that photo at the beginning that said E001.
Oh, yeah, it's right next to the couch. It's on like.
I know, but I don't think I was even paying attention to that. So when I saw the reveal, I was just like, holy shit. It was good.
As long as you enjoyed it, that is what.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Yeah, as a boss fight, I was underwhelmed.
Yeah, it was basically just like, oh hey, I'm gonna shoot 19,000 grenade shots into her face, and
yeah, she basically like throws you, picks you up by your legs, and then Chris throws down the Albert.
Mm-hmm.
Use it.
Which has weird neuro rounds in it or something.
Yeah, super cool. I liked using that. That was my favorite gun, and I only shot it like 6 times.
Yep.
You should play the game again.
Same.
You can use the whole game.
I could.
Not with neuro rounds, but still.
Ryan is not going to touch that game ever. Hates this game.
So yeah, we hit the end here, and she like decays into nothing. The soldiers come down. You like fade out, and you come back to, and the soldiers come down, and one takes his mask off. He's like, "Oh, I'm Redfield. I'm glad to find you." And Ethan's like, "What the fuck took you so long?" So like, there has to be some connection there that he's like, "What took you so long?" Like, there has to be something, right? That.
Yeah, he is connected to Umbrella in some way. He has to be.
Well, he's riding away in an Umbrella helicopter now.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know. It could also just be that they are aware of what's like been happening there because they picked up those emails from the emails that were between Lucas and Connections, and they know that that Ethan is there, and they're like just glad that they saved him. I don't know. There could be some connection there, but I don't think they go into it at all in this game. Even
so, as us having killed Mia, we go up in the helicopter, and Ethan's basically watching the first video of her talking about babysitting, and she can't wait to get back to her husband. And Ethan basically turns off the phone and says, I don't know, says goodbye or something. And he just whips the phone out of the helicopter.
He throws a perfectly good fucking cell phone out the window because it's got a video on it. You can delete that video, jackass.
Did he have that cell phone the entire time?
Yeah, that too. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Used it?
He never even tried.
Oh, God.
You get service in Louisiana.
So, with Mia not being dead, how does it end?
It's Ethan has some inner monologue about like moving on from this in
another door closes or another door closes. Yeah, but on the helicopter, is there anything different? Because he's just literally watching that video on the helicopter and whips it off.
No, it's very similar to the opening of the game. They have that big panoramic scene with the background with the helicopter flying away, and it's just him and talking about like finding a new life with Mia.
What Mia is on the helicopter though. You fly away with her. She's alive.
Yeah, they want to put that all behind them, and
Yeah, they're gonna get back together, even though she's a lying bitch that made an evil virus that killed tons of people. You know, whatever.
I like the throwing a perfectly good cell phone out of a helicopter. Seeing that. Fuck this phone. I'm out of here.
But yeah, and the very last line of that monologue is different too. It's like Ethan says, "Oh, they say when one door closes, another door opens." But then on the bad ending, he's like, "Well, I guess that was the door that closed, but the only other door I can see is also fucking closed." It's just like a depressing little emo boy. But on the good ending, he's like, "Oh, a new door has opened. Ta-da!" I don't know.
Yeah. All right. So you guys want to talk about DLC?
Yeah, real quick, I want to note the credits are pretty cool. The way it like goes through newspapers and the people's names
I like
are
the
just in
music
the
too.
newspapers.
The music is pretty fun too.
So if we want to cover DLC, I can do the not a hero. I'm just gonna hit the main points real quick.
Yeah.
You just play as Chris Redfield, and you're going back through the salt mines to track down Lucas. And so, to me, it's like the definitive ending to this game. It's basically the epilogue.
Yeah.
So you're going through, and Lucas has taken Chris's team and built a bunch of traps throughout the salt mine. So you're finding different items to help you get through these traps, and it's pretty quick. It's like a 2-hour long DLC, but it's really action focused. So you get like a breath stabilizer to go through noxious gas. You get like night vision to see through like dark tunnels, and along the way, all of your comrades die. Go figure. And then you fight Lucas at the end. You find out that he was emailing back and forth with this connections company, and that he was sending them information, and he was hoping that they would come and pick him up so he could work with them, I believe. Right, Chris?
Yeah, he was. I mean, he was already working with them through email, and he was like their lead researcher.
But he was hoping that he would like get them out of.
Yeah, they basically abandoned him.
Get him.
Did we lose? What's happening?
Nope. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Yeah, that was weird. My internet stuttered there for a second. But there's like an email, I think, between the dude where he's like expecting him to pick him up.
Yeah, but they've been using Lucas this whole time. Like they never intended to really have him be part of their team. The lead researcher role was all just like, hey, keep up that good work there, buddy.
Yep. And then Lucas turns into like this giant fucking monster, and you fight him in a lab, and he calcifies.
Yeah, he looks like a tyrant kind of from like Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 2.
Yep. And after you fight him, Chris is talking to the dispatcher, and there's some line about Ethan, I think, but I can't remember what it is. But that was what made me think of there being a connection between him and Ethan. Oh, that's when you find out that it's about Umbrella, and that Chris is working for Umbrella, and that it's not really Umbrella anymore. It's a new type of Umbrella because they have re-solidified after Umbrella dispatched because of all the bio weapons and shit. And they reformed with a couple other organizations to create the new Umbrella that Chris Redfield's working for.
Yeah, that fights against bioweapons.
Which will probably be the big plot point of 8, I assume.
Yeah, because Chris is a big part of that. We know Ethan is also a big part of it. I assume Mia is. Yeah. I assume the canon ending is Mia surviving. Because the other ending's stupid.
And it makes no sense.
Come on, you get rid of a perfectly good cell phone.
One other thing to mention about the Not a Hero DLC, there's like an invincible enemy that regenerates really quickly. That do you eventually get a way to kill them or something? I don't remember. I just remember there being an invincible enemy.
Yeah, you get there is basically like an E-series type ammunition that you shoot into them, and it takes away their regenerative abilities so you can kill them.
Okay.
But it's useless, really. There's only like a handful of the enemies that have it. I think you might have to use some of that ammo on Lucas. I don't really remember, but it's fun. I mean, it's a fun time. If you wanted to play more Resident Evil 7, it's a good way to finish it off. You know.
Yeah.
I don't think Ryan wants to.
So just to very quickly talk about the rest of the DLC. There's Banned Footage 1, which has Nightmare, which I believe is the one where you're playing as Clancy locked in the basement, and there's just waves of molded. It's got a cool system where like you keep turning on these generators that make scrap for you, and then you spend that scrap on weapons and upgrades and like turrets on the wall and stuff. It's very gamey. It's cool, but mostly it's a little bit of story about Clancy and the bullshit he goes through. And then there's the bedroom DLC, which this one's really cool, especially if you like the happy birthday thing. It's like this very complex puzzle room where Marguerite is trying to make you eat gross shit. And like every time she leaves the room, you get up and you do some puzzle stuff, but then eventually some part of the puzzle makes a really loud noise, and you have to make sure you put everything back where it was before you did all the puzzle shit you just did, and then get back in the bed and put the handcuff back on and act like you changed nothing. And if you changed anything, every time she comes in, even if you did everything right, she acts like she sees something that's wrong. She's like, something's different in here. And then she stands there for a second, makes you think she's onto it, and then she's like, oh, never mind. But if you actually did change something, she's like, you fucking move that shit, and then she murders you. But yeah, it goes on for a long time. It's like, even if you know the solutions, it's probably like 15 minutes or something of solving that puzzle. It's it's very cool. Honestly, I wish they dropped the whole Marguerite coming back and forth into the room. I would really like playing that, because I really liked the happy birthday thing, just solving those really weird puzzles.
Yeah, basically like an escape room, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. And then the last DLC that was in banned footage 1 is Ethan Must Die, which is this weird roguelike mode where you start in I believe you start in the garden, and you like make your way through the house and the basement, and I think you end up in the guest house a little bit and the old house. Like, you make your way through most of the areas in the game, but the loot is like random, that's dropped out of boxes and stuff. And then at the very end you fight Marguerite. It's definitely an interesting mode. It's very hard, is the main thing I learned. I did not beat it. And then Banned Footage 2 has 21, which is the last thing Clancy did before Happy Birthday, which is where Lucas like locked him in a room with some guy who you never see again. He has a name, I think it's like Bernie or something, I don't know, but you never hear about him again because he dies. You play
good old Bernie.
Yeah, you play you play blackjack with him. It's just a blackjack minigame, but with weird, creepy undertones and bad shit happening to both you and the other guy. You get some fingers cut off, you get electrocuted. Yeah, the other guy gets so sawed in the face. It's great. And then the Daughters DLC was the other one in Banned Footage 2. Well, one of the other two. And that's the like prequel DLC where you see the family go crazy. And it kind of contradicts the main game because the family goes crazy overnight. But it is cool to see. You get to see the family be normal, kind of. Like Jack Baker goes out and finds the little girl and brings her home, and he's like really concerned about her, and they give her a blanket and everything. And then everybody just starts losing their minds and everything goes creepy and dark. And the last Banned Footage DLC was we talked a little bit about this on when we were playing Ghost yesterday. The Happy Birthday Jack, or Happy 55th Birthday, or whatever. It's like this weird goofy mode where Jack wants you to feed him, and you run through the building killing molded who have party hats on and cowboy hats and shit to slow down the timer. And you combine like food together to get more points, and you're just competing for a score. Basically, you want to freeze the timer as much as possible to get the best time and get an S rank on that. It's a goofy and fun, and I'm glad it exists, but it doesn't add anything to the lore. It's very clearly non-canon.
Okay.
Could not be less canon.
Just craziness.
And then the last DLC is End of Zoe, which we talked about a little bit earlier. You play as Joe Baker, and you save Zoe because she's been calcified. You find a serum to cure her. So all that really means is that Zoe's still alive, and maybe she'll have some role in Resident Evil 8. We really don't know. And yeah, that's kind of it for DLC. Speaking of Resident Evil 8, are you guys going to play Resident Evil 8? Those of you who enjoyed this one? I will be, obviously, because I like the
Very
series
excited
already.
for it.
I don't know.
Right?
I don't plan on it. I don't plan on it. And that's not I know you were joking earlier, Panda, when you said I hate this game. I don't hate this game. The reason I've been quiet is I don't have a lot to say that hasn't been said.
Sure.
And this is a well put together game. It's executed very well. I never want to touch another one.
We're happy to
Not
announce the
your
Spelunk on
game.
Resident Evil 8 next year. No.
And it's just because this isn't. Those aren't the experiences I play games for.
Understandable.
I agree.
Yeah, you can probably tell throughout this discussion that I really like this series and this game, and it's very exciting to me. So I will definitely be playing Resident Evil 8, probably at launch. But Resident Evil games have a bad habit of releasing right next to other huge games, so who knows?
Yeah, I'll probably play it eventually. I don't know about on release.
After playing this, I'll end up playing it on release, probably. I love this fucking game. Like, after beating this game, it went into like my top 10 favorite games of all time.
Really? Wow. Damn.
Yeah, I really fucking love this game. I love the story. The puzzles are super fun. It's everything I like about games. Good storytelling, fun game mechanics. You know, the world is interesting. Characters are interesting.
Well,
Not enough diversity in the cast. That kind of sucks. But
oh yeah.
you know.
Yeah, there's one black guy, and he's immediately murdered.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up earlier, but I was like, yeah, we probably already know that.
Yeah.
It's like normal old horror movie stuff.
Yeah, that is like, come on. That kind of stuff wears on me, but other than that, everything else about this game is what I like. It's what I like.
So, Dory's got a few questions here. Says, what do you think about the first hour that is so, or what do you think made it so memorable? Chainsaw on Ethan's hand, the surprise amnesia-like gameplay that you did not expect, or do you have something else? I mean, the entire first hour in general, I think it's just good. So I think that just as a whole, it stands out well. There's a lot that happens, and there's a lot of more of the like actual horror, spooky stuff. I know we talked a little bit about it already.
Yeah, it's just like the ramp up, the fact that it is very horror movie in the way that it ramps up, and it's kind of linear. It's got a little bit of puzzle solving, but it's pretty linear and builds tension incredibly well to a head, which is like the fight with Mia, but then another fight with Mia. It's very intense and cool, but I don't think there's any one specific moment from it that's like, or one specific thing about it that makes it special.
Oh, actually, I take that back. When you pick up your own hand, that's what made it.
It's that first Mia fight for me. That is the thing that, like, I had a nightmare about that whole scene. Like, it's not
I had a nightmare about the first fight with Jack.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, because it's more real. Like before it goes like monster-y, right?
Yeah, it's very unsettling. But I think that's what makes that whole opening part so great. We kind of touched on it earlier, but the unnerving feeling of not knowing what to expect. Like every time you go down a staircase or go around the next corner, it's there's not enough on the table to have any clue of what you're gonna find. And it's not until you get into the main house where you finally understand what the fuck the game actually is. So there's a lot of mystery at the beginning.
Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
it's the unknowing.
I like the way I like the story. That honestly, I kind of want to watch Resident Evil story synapse like on YouTube because the story was really interesting. But
sure.
I don't ever want to control that game ever again.
So you would watch them stream Resident Evil 8? But you wouldn't play it? Okay.
Yeah, I would do that.
Interesting.
I think that's a win.
What if I told you the next one's going to have witches in it and werewolves?
I'll watch.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's maybe my one concern if we're talking real quick about Resident Evil 8 is that I'm afraid those witches and werewolves are going to be like the bakers where you're hiding and you're running and you're not fighting them, especially the witches, because it seems weird that they would have you fight like magical beings as opposed to just hiding from them, which again, those are my least favorite parts of this game.
Sure.
Yeah.
Dory also asks, most annoying enemy in the game. Her money, figuratively speaking, is on the bugs that Marguerite sends after you when you first meet her in the old house. They're hard to kill if you don't have the burner, and even though you do, the small amounts of damage adds up quick.
Yeah, I'm on the same page. It's the bugs, and it's because they are bugs.
Yep.
Jack and Marguerite Baker, for reasons I just said. They're annoying.
I don't really know that I had like an annoying enemy. They all seemed like normal enemies to me, I guess. I didn't like the little creepy guys just because you got to aim at the ground. Otherwise, it was okay. I didn't mind too many of them. How about favorite weapon? Dory's is the broken shotgun, but has not beaten the game yet.
That's the best weapon for sure. It's amazing.
I mean, it's
I
the
didn't
Albert
get it.
gun.
Yeah, I like the Albert, even though I barely used it.
Yeah, the Magnum or the G37 with enhanced ammunition.
I mean, wait, the PP-19 is in that game. We have to make a call out to the PP-19. Thank you.
What is that?
Is that the handgun
It's
you get
the
as
submachine
Mia?
gun.
Oh, the SMG. Okay.
Yeah, that with the round clip thing that Mia has in the
Oh, yeah.
yeah, that's the PP-19.
A few other things from Smack. He really thinks that going first person adds the atmosphere and the gunplay. It actually feels more or pretty good considering the rest of the franchise.
Yeah.
Even in VR, it controls very well the mix of fine-tune aiming with your head and broad stroke aiming with the right stick works very well.
Yeah.
It's one of the best controlling VR games I've ever played.
Okay.
And I've got like 200-300 hours in VR stuff. So
Good lord.
Cool.
Yeah. Smack also brings up that this is going back to classic Resident Evil with like the old puzzles, small locations, not like because this is coming right off the tail. Well, I think it's coming off the tail of one of the Revelations games technically, but it's also in terms of the main lineage, it's coming right off Resident Evil 6, which people hate for good reason. It's the gameplay feels bad. There's no puzzles. You're just running all over the world, shooting weird zombie-like things, but not even really zombies. It's for them to go from that to this very small location with mostly puzzles and like a singular enemy basically with the molded, slight variations on them, but mostly it's just the molded. It's like they really brought the series back to life with that. Like everybody was saying Resident Evil, not a good series anymore. Kind of dead after 6.
well, good thing it's a game about being undead.
Ah! Zing.
Got him.
There was your one.
Wait right for the end of the episode. You gotta
Yeah.
strike at the golden opportunity.
I saw the Smack also agrees with our creepy grandma and enjoys the reveal as much as you guys enjoyed the reveal of Granny Pants.
Yeah, it was a good reveal.
Yeah.
Listen, I like the way they built the story up. Like it's very interesting. It makes me want to learn more about the Resident Evil world lore.
So, with that, I think we have...
Real quick, we
no.
should answer. Smack has a couple questions we didn't really answer. What part did you like the most and the least?
I liked the ending the most because I was then able to turn the game off. But that's not a real answer.
Yeah, first hour or the beginning is my favorite part.
The happy birthday thing was my favorite part.
Yeah, that might be my favorite part. I like the salt mines a lot too, though. That's like, it's very action heavy, but not like the DLC where you don't really feel like you're even managing inventory or anything. You're still kind of managing your ammunition and stuff throughout that part.
Yeah, as far as like sequences, it's happy birthday, but like sections, boat section is easily my favorite part.
Boat section's easily my least favorite part. I hate the labyrinthian construction
Yeah,
of that.
it's a lot
that
of back
area.
and forth and around
Yeah.
and up and
Yeah, it's confusing for sure.
I think I'm with Tom. I think the prologue's probably like the most. I can't even think of the right word.
Real.
It's my favorite. That's not what I was thinking. Like it's the most it's most memorable part of the whole experience to me.
Yeah, my least favorite part isn't a part. It's just like anytime that you're just hiding. I keep harping on that, but I dislike it greatly.
My least favorite part is the fact that his sprint is awful.
I was gonna say that, yeah. Anytime you need to get the fuck out of somewhere and you can't because you can't run for shit.
Yeah, did
And
you
there
guys
is
use-
a quick turn. Like, I didn't discover this quick turn for quite a while.
Yeah,
that you
but it
can
still
actually
doesn't
just...
help. It doesn't
No,
help.
but it's a little better.
Yeah, it's the camera turns really slow. Like I didn't even look if there were aim sensitivity options. Maybe there were, and you could turn faster. But I feel like they intentionally have you turning slow for the horror of it, so you have to use the turn. And then the Smack also asked a really interesting question that I've never really thought about for this game. Do you think this game would work in third person, minus the VR,
No.
obviously?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I do.
I think it would be okay, but I think the map design might be too simple for a third person game, honestly. I think you would get through it like much more easily without the like having to look in every nook and cranny for like little keys and stuff, because if you're in third person, like you think about Resident Evil 2 remake, Resident Evil 3 remake, the stuff that you can grab is really obvious. I was amazed how many times I used a psychostimulant and it was like, oh, I just came from that room and there's like 3 items in there I didn't grab because they're tucked behind a table in a corner. And that's not something that you can really do with the third person camera.
I think this game would work in third person, in my perspective, just because it would just be Resident Evil 1, basically. You know, that's what Resident Evil 1 is.
I think this game's better off for being in first person, but it could work in third person.
Yeah,
I
I
think
agree.
it-
I would not want to play a third person version of this game.
I think it would take some of the horror aspect out of it. If
Certainly.
you're not in first person,
Yeah.
it'd be like, it'd be more disconnected.
I honestly hope they don't ever go back to third person. I would prefer to play a first person game, especially in this genre. Like, because going back and playing Evil Within the last week or so that I've been playing it, there's definitely horror aspects to it, right? But if you were put in those same situations, like with the first person view, that game would be a fucking nightmare to play. Like it'd be terrifying.
There's actually there's an free DLC that they released for the second game that lets you play it in first person that I never did because it seems awful. It seems horrifying.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine
I
it.
should do that, though.
It's absolutely the forced perspective makes everything so much different, and having that wide view of a third person camera and being able to like manipulate the environment around you to be able to see all around you all the time, it takes so much away from that horror aspect.
Yeah. One more thing, well, 2 more things that Smack brings up. It's interesting that the game's designed for multiple playthroughs with different difficulties, and like once you know the game, you can get through it very quickly. Which brings up something that we didn't really bring up, which is Madhouse difficulty. None of us played on Madhouse. They completely change item arrangements. The puzzles go in a different order because item arrangements are different. And the bakers chase you in much wider areas. So like Jack, for example, when he shows back up on the top floor, he kind of stops at the top floor. He will chase you like everywhere again when he pops back up after shooting himself in the face.
That's awful. I don't want that happening.
Yeah, me neither. And then the last thing he brings up is sound design, which we didn't really talk about, but the sound design is, he says, sound design, level design, top notch, dripping walls, squishy enemies, moans and growls from unearthly beasts. Please play the game with headphones in a dark room, and you will be on the edge of your seat. I'm sorry, Smack.
Oh, I
failed
was.
you in that regard. But
I did enjoy the sound. I feel like a lot of the visuals were too wet.
it's very wet.
It seems weird.
Everything's so wet.
Well, you're
I mean,
in
I
a
understand.
you're in a bayou. I mean,
I understand it, but like I also
yeah.
bring up again, like when you're looking at your like it looks like a freaking like mannequin arm.
yeah.
It's just like your arm is like wet and like plasticky.
My only
It just
issue
looked
was
awful.
with Mia's hair design. It was
Yeah, chunky
bad.
clay.
Yeah, it just looked like Play-Doh. So
Make spaghetti out of it.
Yeah, one more thing I guess I'll bring up. I'm curious. I'm sorry, I know you're trying to end this. We're going forever, but I want to go forever. I love this game. Resident Evil 8, I am curious how it's going to turn out with the first-person perspective, because it seems like it's going to cover a very big area, kind of like Resident Evil 4, like a big haunted village. And even with just this very small location, this game, I think I was at like 7 hours at the end, and that's with the previous playthrough. So if they're covering a massive area like Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 4 is like a 30-hour game in third person with the items shining everywhere. I'm curious to find out how that's going to turn out.
It'd be a long, like, I don't know if I could imagine playing 7 for 30 hours.
Yeah, that would be horrifying. I would probably do it over several months at that point.
Seems like a lot.
I don't see them making it into that long of a game though, just because I don't think it works well in a longer setting in that first person view. You know what I mean? It's like we were saying earlier, talking about the forced perspective. I don't think anybody could play a horror game that's like 40 plus hours, you know, that's in first person. I think it would only work. I don't think any Resident Evil game is longer than like 10 hours. Most of them are pretty short, except for 4. I think 4 is the shortest, or 4 is the longest one. Sorry.
4 and I think 6 is also with all 3 campaigns, all 4 campaigns.
Yeah.
I guess they're pretty long, but
Because from what I remember, 1 is like 10 to 12 hours, and then 5 is like 12 to 15, I think.
yeah. But I mean, I'm sure before Resident Evil 4 came out, nobody expected any Resident Evil game to be 30 hours long, but they made it work, and it's
Sure.
still a lot of people's favorites.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But maybe they are going with a more controlled scale still, despite it clearly being kind of an homage to Resident Evil 4. At least that's
Yeah.
the vibes I'm getting from it.
For sure.
Anyways, I'm done interrupting you, Tom.
So yeah, I guess that covers all final thoughts on Resident Evil 7.
We did it.
Our next game exploration is going to be a Plague Tale, which is just talking about a tail that fell off because of the plague. So
Yeah, it's like a short
Right.
story.
I played the first chapter of that game, and it's really fucking sad.
oh, good.
Shocking.
So we're all gonna be crying doing this.
It's fucking sad. That game is sad.
So
That episode will probably be 4 hours long, because just like this one, because from what I understand, that game is mostly story.
okay. So we will be recording that on what was it, the 5th of November? I think that's Thursday.
Calendar out. Yep, 5th.
Yep, the
So-
5th of November.
You are warned. You now have from now until the 5th to play and tell us all your fun facts, comments.
And it is on Game Pass, we should mention.
It is on Game Pass,
It is.
so free goody games.
Yay.
You can join our Discord, which will be linked in the description of this. You can email us. You can send snail mail to Ryan's house, because we'll put that in maybe for his fans only.
Ryan, you want to
account.
give us your address real quick? People.
Yeah. That's 1, 2, 3.
Wait
2,
a
3, 4,
minute.
5th Street.
Main Street.
But yeah, it should be a good game. And then we are on the verge of new consoles, new games. So we'll be thinking heavily on what we will be doing after a Plague's Tale.
Yeah, let
we
us
should
know what you guys
probably
want to
put
say.
up. Yeah, we should probably put up in our Discord a suggestions. Maybe.
That'd be a bad
Um,
idea.
for
Talk
things
about,
that we could do.
talk about that off air. Oh.
No, let's make a decision now, so it's final.
Let's discuss this on the podcast that's been going for 4 hours long right now.
No, we got 6 minutes.
Yeah,
yet
we
before
gotta
hit,
we got to filibuster for 5 minutes here, guys.
Yep. But thank you everybody for listening. Everybody that sent in questions and comments. Dory, Smack, Ryan's friend Tim.
Jimmy.
Thank you very much. This was
was a fun one.
actually the first podcast we've done as Spelunkers with community content submitted.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
So hopefully it will grow. Yay!
Tell your friends.
Tell your
Yeah.
friends.
Share on the
Moms,
social
brothers,
medias.
sisters, everybody.
Follow us
we
on
have a-
Twitter at the
yeah, we have a-
Spelunkers.
Twitter account that makes racy comments every now and then.
You know,
fun.
I love
Filled
that Twitter
jokes.
account. It's a good Twitter account. Hasn't been posted on it all week. I think the person in charge has been busy, but you know,
Oh no, that's okay.
somebody else can step in and take it.
Tonsils need escaping, so. This will also be, the video version will also be available on YouTube as our backlogs of Twitch games that we have streamed, We stream randomly through the week, but Sundays at 10 Central. Right? Yeah, 10
No,
Central.
11 Central,
11
right?
Central. 11 Central.
Noon
Yeah.
Eastern.
Noon, correct time.
Too many time zones. 11 Central, we stream sometimes games we're doing, sometimes games we play. I don't think we figured out quite what we'll be doing next, but
What do you
Dead
mean?
by-
We're playing Ghost, right?
Yeah, I thought that was a given.
Dead by Daylight will be happening at some point.
I thought that was
That too.
Halloween stream.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't decided.
Oh, we'll discuss the schedule off air, but go follow us on Twitch.
No, we still have time to fill.
Hey, it's late. We're all tired.
Yeah, thanks everybody for coming out. Thanks for listening, watching, playing along with us. It's a lot of fun. We look forward to our next podcast and seeing all of your content that you submit to us, playing the game. It should be a good time. Anything important we'll put in the description, but thanks for listening and watching. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.